Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 3 of the Irish Open Championships of 2023. We had some great racing yesterday, some fantastic Irish senior records, especially in that women's 100 metre breaststroke. Mona McSharry with a 106.0 real world-class time. So close to that 105 mark, but I was interviewing her last night and she actually said she made a few mistakes, so a lot more to come there. So India got great racing coming up today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some fantastic racing. Starting off with the 400 metre IM, we've got Ellen Walsh going into that fastest heat. So we know that she's on form, especially after that 100 fly earlier on in the week where she set that Irish senior record in a 57 high. So really, really looking forward to Ellen's swim today. We're then followed by the men's 50 metre breaststroke. We've got Owen Corby as our fastest qualifier there. We've got our 100 freestyle. We always know that that's going to be a fast race. We've got the likes of Danielle Hill and Victoria Catterson. And other names like Naomi Trait, Molly McAlorum coming up in that 100 freestyle. So again, it's going to be some fast racing on this morning. We then followed by the men's 100 metre butterfly. We've got Evan Bailey and we've got Max McCusker, and also our fastest qualifier there, our Olympian Shane Ryan, coming in for that 100 fly. Followed again by the 50 metre breaststroke. We've got Mona McSharry, like you said last night, setting that Irish senior record in the 106. So we know that she's going to be fast over the 50 metres as well. We then have the men's 800 metre freestyle this morning. So we don't have Daniel Whiffen performing this morning, but we do have fast qualifier, his twin brother Nathan Whiffen, coming in. Fast qualifier Liam McCusker, but also followed with Nathan Whiffen there as well. And finishing off with that splash and dash of the women's 50 metre butterfly. So some interesting races to follow this morning, David.
Yes, 100%. Lots of interesting races, lots of fast swimming. Swimmers will have settled into the meet by now. You know, the majority of swimmers will have swam at least once, so those sort of race cobwebs will have hopefully died off and they'll have settled into it now. This championships is a 5-day meet, of course. 5-day meet as opposed to, you know, at the Olympics it'll be 8 days, or World Championships will be 7 days. But we're starting off this morning with the women's 400 medley, just the 3 heats of this. So all these swimmers now will be looking to qualify for tonight's final. 400 medley straight off, same as the boys last night. An event that's tactically kind of all over the place a wee bit. So here we go.
Alright, so we have the first heat here of the women's 400 metre IM, like David was saying. So just running quickly down through the names. We've got Saoirse Dorgan of ESB in lane 0. We've got Louise Harnett of Laois Marlins in lane 1. Hannah Poynton of Trojan in 2. Eva Hand of Ards in lane 3. Ava Walsh of Templeogue in 4. We've got Emily Edgar of Lisburn City in 5. Shauna Murphy of Dolphin in lane number 6. Sarah Keane of Portmarnock in 7. And Sophie Jess of Ards in lane number 8.
Yeah, thanks India. Looks like Hannah Poynton in lane 2, the Trojan swimmer, taking this out. 32.59. Just got to control this first 100 of this 400 medley, the 100 fly. Obviously, the order is butterfly, back crawl, breaststroke, and then finishing off with freestyle. So she's taking the lead here, kind of a higher rate than the rest of them. You got to keep that control, got to keep that length. You cannot, and I mean cannot, be tired at this 100 mark, as you've got 300 metres left. Real grueling event to come in early doors on this Monday morning. India looks like it's still going to be Poynton.
Yeah, it's a great start there by Hannah, so coming out in a 1:10.38, so hopefully she did take it nice and easy and controlled on that 100 fly. We spoke a lot about the 400 IM last night. We had Jack Casson taking the men's 400 metre IM and again setting that Irish senior record, breaking Killian Melly's record back in 2021, so fantastic swim there from him as well. So we know that Jack Casson had that strong 100 fly at the start. He could take it slow and controlled, so that's what these girls should need to be doing on that first 100 fly, but turning well onto this 100 metre backstroke now. Again, it's all about staying tactical with the 100 back, keeping the head still, keeping that stroke rate high, and like we spoke about before, David, it is that breaststroke leg that will determine the field here.
Yeah, the breaststroke leg always so key. Like I was saying yesterday on the stream, the breaststroke is the most drag out of all the 4 strokes, and especially coming in as a third of 4 100s here, as fatigue comes into play, as you want to just shorten the stroke up, the more drag you'll have. So that's why it's so imperatively important to have a high level of fitness for this event. You know, you'll see a lot of swimmers in the 400 medley, they also double down on maybe a 400 freestyle, or they'll all definitely swim a 200 medley at some point, but it's good to kind of set the pace now. The field's kind of separated a wee bit. up in lane 7 having a good one as well. Sarah Keane just kind of hang tough in this event. The breaststroke is the key leg though.
Yeah, so
halfway part.
Turning here at the 200 meters, so we still have Hannah Poynton of Trojan turning first in a 2:37.59. So she's doing well here, but like we said, David, it is going to be the breaststroke leg that's going to determine this field. Does look like the playing field is evening out here, so we've pretty much got all 5 lanes pretty much coming up shoulder to shoulder. So we usually say that on a 400 meter IM they'd be looking to negative split a lot of these swims as well, so taking it out kind of slow speed or easy speed as you like to call it on that first 50, and then second 50 they'd like to be coming back that little bit harder. So it's the second 50 here that we'll see who's going to be taking the lead going into that front crawl leg.
Yeah, Andy is 100% right. Michael Phelps popularised that, negative splitting each 100. So of each leg, that means your second 50 is faster than your first 50. So sort of building each leg. Michael Phelps famously did that for his world record in Beijing. 4:03.8 is his best time. Famously beat Ryan Lochte. But still holding tough is Hannah Poynton of Trojan. But the rest of the field's starting to bunch up a wee bit.
Yeah, I did think we have a little bit of a push on here from Shauna Murphy of Dolphin in lane number 6. She's looking strong in this breaststroke leg, gaining a lot of distance per stroke here. So I think she's just taken a slight lead there on Poynton of Trojan. So again, it's just about maintaining this lead now coming into the final 100. I'm sure the lactic acid is definitely starting to build up in the legs of these girls here. So again, they just need to stay strong, again, know what they're doing. They have their race tactics, I'm sure, coming into this 400 AM. And like you said, David, it's only 3 heats, so all of these girls are going to be looking for a final swim this evening as well.
Yeah, Shauna Murphy, a real nice breaststroke leg. That's what we said at the start. The breaststroke leg is the key. So even if your first 3 strokes aren't as strong, you know, you can always come back really strong on the breaststroke. Hannah Miley infamously did that. Real sort of not as good on the butterfly, but her breaststroke was so good that she always pulled back right at the end. Okay, here we go. Good battle going on here in the first heat. The Lisburn swimmer in the middle. Emily Edgar's just kind of been hanging in there, but now it looks like lane 4 taking the lead. Eva Walsh, our fastest qualifier for this first heat of this women's 400 medley. Kind of taking the lead of things. Poynton's dropped off a wee bit, last 50.
Yeah, we know that Templeogue have got a strong 400 IM swim team, especially now that we know that Ellen Walsh is coming into that 3rd heat as well. So I'm sure Brian Sweeney has really been working hard on these 400 metre IM splits with all these girls. So it does look like Ava Walsh of Templeogue, the 16-year-old, is going to be taking this first heat. She's looking really strong coming down this last 25 metres. Really, really strong pace here from her. So we're coming into the last 12 and a half. Again, Ava Walsh's entry time of a 5:30.88. Looks like she might just be going below that here. Final few strokes, and she touches well in a 5:28. Oh, didn't come up on the clock, but I'm sure it's around a 5:28 there, folks.
Yeah, 5:27.8 for her. Popped up a wee bit late, but that's a PB for her, under 5:30. Always good to set best times early doors here. That's a grueling event. We had the men yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, she looked tired there, to be honest, so at least she knows that she put everything into that 400 IM, so I'm sure she'll be looking for a final swim this evening. There's only an A and B final in the 400 metre IM, so just 20 of these girls will be making a final swim this evening, so it really is just about pushing out as hard as they can. So moving on to the second heat, we do have a faster heat here, so our fastest qualifier is already breaking that 5-minute mark of a 4:52.12. That's going to be Grace Davison of Ards, a 16-year-old.
Yeah, Grace Davison of Ards having a really good breakthrough year or two, swimming with Curtis Coulter at Ards Swimming Club. Swam obviously at the Commonwealth Games last summer as a 15-year-old. Really young girl to be able to go to a competition as stellar as that. She also broke that Irish senior record, or Irish junior record, excuse me, in the women's 50 freestyle the other night, a time of 25:88 for her. So she's really coming on leaps and bounds. So she's got a double this morning. She's got 400 medley straight into 100 free. But I was talking to her coach, Curtis Coulter, this morning. He said that she's prepared for that. These swimmers know exactly what they're doing before they come in, so it's not a shock for them. It'll be interesting to see what she goes here. We've also got Ellen Walsh in this 400 medley in the next heat. She hasn't done this too much, but obviously a 200 medley specialist, qualified for Tokyo in that event. But she did win a medal in the 400 medley at the World Short Course Championships. So it'll be interesting to see how close she can get to that Irish senior record, maybe.
Yeah,
Michelle Smith, isn't it? 4:39.
Geez, it's the long-standing Irish senior record there, 1996, 4:39.18. At least we know that Ellen Walsh has got a strong first 100 fly there anyway, to be able to take it nice and controlled and relaxed. So it really is how she's worked on the second or the last 300 meters. But we know that she did a breaststroke event that first day as well, so we know that her breaststroke is looking strong too. So be interesting to see how Ellen gets on. But again, we've got Grace going into that first heat, and she does have a busy schedule, but at least she has youth on her side, David. So I'm sure she'll be all right.
Take it in her stride. Here we go, heat 2. Butterfly leg, so important to set up the stroke.
All right, so again, heat number 2, just running down to the list of names there. So in 0, we have Ruth Kelly of New Ross. In lane 1, Lucy O'Brien of Limerick. In lane 2, Megan Jones of Portmarnock. Lane 3, Hannah McCabry of Lurgan. In lane 4, again, fastest qualifier, Grace Davison of Ars in a 4:52.12. Lane number 5, we've got Ciara Aiken of Ars as well. Poppy Matthews is taking lane 6 from Swim Belfast. Ava Bailey of New Ross in lane 7. Heather Fain of Dolphin in lane 8. And Michelle O'Shea of Dolphin in lane number 9.
Yeah, thanks, India. Grace Davison taking it out, like we said. Not only does she have youth on her side, but she also has genetics on her side. She's very tall. She's taller than me. I know I'm short, but she looks down on me. But here she goes. Look at that lovely long stroke, just left of your picture there, just sort of getting through there. Nice sort of rhythm, head up, head down. But you got to keep this nice and smooth. But she's going to be out nicely here. She's going to be out here sub 110 comfortably, setting up this stroke. I think she might actually be going for it this morning to post a time and pull out of tonight. Curtis was alluding, or coaching the warm-up, so she obviously has that women's 100 free that she wants to begin to post a time, get down around those 55, 54 second mark. But it's Davison, India.
Yeah, she looks good and controlled here coming into the back row leg, and like you said, she probably is going to take it out herself on this heat swim, so she knows that she's going to be dominating the field. She knows she's going to be swimming on her own. There's not going to be much competition around her, so it really is just focusing on her own tactics. She's looking well coming into this first 150. Again, like we said, going for that negative split most likely on each of these 100. So let's just have a quick look at her split time here for her first 50 back roll, turning on a 36.79. So yeah, strong first half of this back roll, which is really going to have to kick down, and it'll be the breaststroke leg now to see if she's going to break that heat swim.
Yeah, so I mean, she's entered on a 4:52, but I'd imagine she'll smash that comfortably. Talking about youth being on her side, this is another event that the women's world record fell not too long ago, only a few days ago. Summer McIntosh, that young 16-year-old Canadian, he also broke the women's 400 freestyle world record. She broke the women's 4 medley world record. And that was Katinka Hosszus, the Iron Lady, the Olympic champion. Me and India talked a lot about her yesterday. And a 4:25.8, so a lot of young swimmers at these days sort of taking the mantle over from the established.
Absolutely. We were chatting about that earlier. I was actually chatting to Fran Ronan about Evan Bailey and how they do have kind of youth on their side, and probably not that they don't have as much experience, but it's a case that, when they haven't competed in many events, they don't actually put that much pressure on themselves, so they're able to come into these events and really just give it their all and not think that they have that much pressure on themselves, so they can relax into these races as well. So I'm sure Grace knows as well, she's coming into this field, she's kind of dominating this race, so all she needs to do is just stick to her own race. Yeah, I think ignorance is bliss sometimes, isn't it? So here we go. Coming in now, she's completely in a field of her own. The cameraman's going to have a hard time keeping everybody in shot. Okay, that was a 41.6 there. She'll want to be down maybe slightly faster than that in this one. A 40 point would be nice to set her up for that freestyle leg. We know that she has... Yeah. Sorry, we know... David, we know that she has a strong freestyle leg anyway, so it really is just hammering home on this last, say, 25 metres of this breaststroke. But she is looking strong. She's got a very tight stroke there. Probably needs to shoot a little bit further forward on each of these races. I'm sure it is starting to hurt now. Again, that lactic acid really building up in the legs, but she's still looking strong. She's getting a good bit of distance per stroke as well. So last 10 metres or so of this breaststroke leg, and again, we'll see what time she's going to split on here. Yeah, I would like to see a 40 point if possible for Grace. 43 dropped off slightly there, so we'll see what she has here. A 400 medley is a seriously tough event, and it's not usually the kind of event you just drop in and do. You have to train for it because it's so ridiculously difficult. Not only do you have to be so confident in all 4 strokes technically, but physically you have to be able to hold technique, especially now at the end. But she's got a fantastic leg kick, doesn't she? Yeah, absolutely. You can see from that leg kick now, she's got the fitness anyway for this 400 IM. So again, she's turned on that 3 4:48, and she's taken it under 32.97. So I don't know if she'll be breaking this 4:52 this morning, but she is looking strong if she does take it into the final swim this evening.
Yeah, she's going for it at the end here. She's absolutely miles ahead of the rest of the field. I do not envy the camera person here. But the rest of the field coming up behind, they've got their own individual battles, but the race here is Davison right at the front. 4:52 is her entry. She's going to be slightly outside that, I think. But a really good effort. That's a 4:53.8 for Davison. Still sub 5 minutes. So lovely. Morning swim for her. The rest of the field now coming up behind.
Yeah, so we've got lane number 3, I think, going to take second. So Hannah McCabery, again, she had a very strong start. Her entry time of a 5:11.88. Again, I think she might just be slightly outside that as well. But again, grueling race, like we said, David, it's a difficult one to swim so early in the morning. So I think some of these times just are a little bit off as they're coming in to touch the wall. So we'll just get the official times here at the end of the heat.
Yeah, so Davison will be right back to the swim down pool. Before that, she doesn't have too long before that women's 100 freestyle. We've only got the men's breast, 50 breast in between, and then you're straight into the female 50 free. Curtis Coulter, what are you putting her through? That is tough going, but she should be okay. Okay, coming on to our final heat now, we've got Ellen Walsh and Molly Main as well. Would expect Walsh to cruise this and take this.
Do you think she'll cruise the heat and just move
I'd
it
say
into the
so.
final?
I'd say so, yeah. I don't see the reason for some of these more experienced athletes that know how to go in the morning when they need to. It's sort of, she's not chasing anything else but times here, is she? So she's ready to qualify for World Championships, so it's just about time. So put yourself in the best possible position to swim fast this evening. But we'll see. We'll know by her rate. We'll know by, especially on the breaststroke, if she's pushing it, you'll sort of see it in her lat muscles. So if she's kind of attacking it, whereas if a swimmer's kind of more chilling, they'll just sort of go through the motions.
Absolutely. Day number 3 is always a difficult one as well out of a 5-day meet. So it's not at the start of the event, it's not when you're the most fresh, but it's also not at the end of the event when you just need to kind of push those last few races. So it's kind of mentally you really need to stay switched on day number 3, and 400 IM in the middle day is not an easy race. So yeah, she probably will just try and probably save as much energy as she can, unless she is using it as a second swim here. But knowing Ellen, yeah, she'll probably be able to cruise this a little bit more, dominate the field, and then take it out stronger in this evening swim.
Absolutely. Obviously back now from Tennessee. She was out there for a few years. Back now training in Dublin. Obviously her counterpart Mona McSharry was obviously out there in Tennessee. She's still swimming out there. But here we go. 400 medley. Final heat.
So final heat, guys, of the 400 IM, heat number 3. We do have an empty lane, so we haven't got Molly Main, Ellen Walsh's teammate, there in lane number 5. So just running down through the list of the names here, we've got Paige Alston Burrows of Larne in 0. We've got Clara Doherty of Carrick Finns in lane 1. Madison Emmond of Guildford in lane 2. Aoife Doran of Aer Lingus in lane 3. Ellen Walsh, again fastest qualifier from Templeogue, in a 4:46.78 in lane number 4. Molly Main, again not swimming, in lane number 5. We've got Hannah O'Connor of Limerick in 6. Meave Connery of Shark in 7. Georgia Walker of Banbridge in 8. And Brianna Chamberlain of Cookstown in lane number 9.
I just love Ellen Walsh's underwaters. They're so sound. So she's out after this. She might be going for this, actually, I think. Just watching her sometimes on the stream, it's hard to tell what you guys are watching at home. It's hard to tell, but when you watch it live, you can definitely see if they're kind of going for it. And she looks like she's not leaving too much. I think she could be just posting a time this morning and then kind of pulling out. To be honest, yeah, she's out at 63. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, 63 for the first part of a 400 meter IM. That's some solid swimming there. So yeah,
but she's a 57 girl now, isn't she, on the 100 fly? So that's plus what, 5, 6?
Plus 5, yeah. So to be honest, maybe that was easy for her, to be honest, 103. But yeah, coming into this 100 backhaul now, again, she's looking slow, she's looking comfortable, she's looking controlled. Again, good head position there from Ellen, and we know that she is strong. She's got a good grasp on the water, so gonna just have a quick look at this first 50 split and see what kind of tempo she's doing here.
Yeah, I think she's going for it. Posting a time. A lot of swimmers doing that because of the grueling schedules. They'll enter things like the 400 medley events, maybe that they don't do as much, and they'll just go, I'll post a time and leave it there, see what I got. I mean, she's a class of her own here. The rest of the field just kind of making up the numbers. She's comfortably ahead here. That backstroke, very important not to switch off. You know, especially after the butterfly, you know, your head will be all into the butterfly when you're doing it. You'll be thinking, okay, I need to make this strong, I need to make this good, I need to make this technically sound, I need to conserve energy. And sometimes when you get onto the backstroke, you think, oh, I'll just chill it a wee bit, but it's important to keep that momentum going. But the breaststroke is the key. The breaststroke, she's through in a 2, didn't come up. Around 2:20, wasn't it, maybe? 2:18?
Yeah, I think we're having a bit of technical issue there with the time pads on line number 4. But yeah, like you said, David, so she's strong on the 100 fly. We don't ever really see Ellen do an individual 100 back roll, so I guess she's going to have to probably work on that event. We know that she did have a strong breaststroke event at the start of this, so she is on form here, and you can see it again, that distance per stroke, just at the corner of the camera shot there. She's looking strong coming into this last 10 meters of the first 50 breaststroke. Again, let's just have a look at these splits. Let's see if she's going to be staying strong coming into the second part. But only 150 meters to go here for Ellen. She's looking good. 2:59.56 split there. So 50 meter split didn't come up. But yeah, let's see if she can hammers it home now for the last 150.
Yeah, she'll have a PB in her sights, definitely. She'll also have that Irish senior record in her sights. So just coming through here now. She'll be out of your picture now, but just controlling and accelerating into the wall now in that breaststroke leg. So you'll see any 400 medleys won and lost on the breaststroke, but then it's all about fitness on that freestyle. There's a great Brazilian 400 medley swimmer who I knew, Tiago Pereira, Olympic medalist, and he was extremely good butterfly, back crawl, breaststroke, but then his freestyle suffered massively. So unless he had a big lead, he couldn't do it. But Walsh has got such a big lead here, and her freestyle looks quite sound here. I would like her legs to be going slightly more, maybe. But that's rich coming from me, sitting up here nice and warm.
Yeah, exactly. And just going back to that Irish senior record, so it's a very long-standing record from Michelle Smith, so it's a 4:39.18. So we did just have Ellen split there on a 3:41 coming into his breaststroke leg. So I don't think the senior record is in any sort of danger here. But it does look like she's very strong. She is coming into this last 50, 34.97 for that first 50 split of the front crawl leg. And yeah, like you said, David, I think she just needs to really hammer down on the legs. I think she definitely could have a second swim in her this evening, and she could definitely hammer home a little bit harder. She's looking strong though. She's looking fit. Final 25 here for the last part of her 400 IM.
Yeah, she'll be outside that Irish senior record. Don't know if that was in her sights or not. It is a long-standing one, as India said. It should be sub 450 here, I think. Yeah, she was 4:49.85. Coming a little bit late there, folks. But 4:49.85. She was in on a 4:46. So in and around. Hard to know. I sort of thought from that fly she was going for it, but maybe it's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's hard to tell when someone swims 57 for 100 fly, whether 103 is easier taken out hard than a 400 IM. So yeah, maybe she does have a little bit more in the tank. She's kind of sitting there as if she's just done a warm-up, a training session. So yeah, no, I think she does have a little bit more in her there. But again, just running through the other swimmers there. So we've got Madison Emmond coming in second in a 5:18.29, and Hannah O'Connor just slightly behind her in a 5:18.33. So strong swims there from the girls in the 400 IM.
Yeah, strong swim. Ellen was literally not even breathing there. That is. I interviewed Grace Hodgins last night, the winner of the women's 1500, and she was less out of breath than I was walking down the stairs to get her. I was like, "Why are you not breathing hard? Would you please
stop showing off?
Stop showing off. The race is over. The cameras aren't on you anymore." She's a fantastic swimmer, Grace, and a lovely girl as well. Okay, that's your 400 medley done.
Yeah, so a big change of event now. We are moving into the men's 50 metre breaststroke, so much faster event here. So we've got Owen Corby is our fastest qualifier, the 21-year-old from National Centre Limerick in a 27.99. We don't see Dara Green here on the prelim, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Owen Corby settles into this heat swim. Yeah,
I was talking to John Sharanek this morning. He mentioned to me that his two Limerick lads, Corby and Feenan, are just going for the first 50 of a 200 split here instead of just going for a max out 50. They're going for just setting the 200 pace up. So don't be surprised if they go a bit slower than you'd expect them to, but I suppose when you sort of look at the bigger picture, the 50 breast isn't really important for these guys. They can't qualify for the Olympics on a 50 breast, so focus is always on the 100 and 200. You know, these swimmers, even though it's 2023 and it's not Olympic year yet, the focus is always on the Olympics next year. But heat 1 of this men's 50 breast.
Right, so like we've spoken about before, 50 metres is just that splash and dash. Breaststroke is a little bit more technical, but there's not much time for error, so they need to make sure that they get good underwaters here, good breakouts, and then just get straight into that rhythm. So using the first 2 or 3 strokes to really build on that speed.
Yeah, important not to slip the water. Got to hold that water strong. Breaststroke's a really funny one. I know a lot of great breaststrokers, and they say the 50 breast is strange. You have to almost not try and just feel that water, because it's so easy to slip on breaststroke. But this could be absolutely anyone. It looks like it's going to be lane 3. Yeah. Petre, 34.14. Slight PB for him. He'll be happy.
Yeah,
Always
absolutely.
take that.
Half a second PB on a 50 breaststroke. I'm sure he will be happy with that. And again, these lads in the first couple of heats, they're going to be looking to go as fast as they can in the heat swim to see if they can make one of the finals this evening. But strong start from heat number 1.
Absolutely. These heats will fly through. Just the 1 lengths. You walk down the side of the pool that to your left there. They'll come from the call room, your top left of your screen. They'll walk the whole way down. 50 is obviously starting from the other end as opposed to the starting end. So a bit of a change in scenarios for the 50 guys. But heat 2.
Yeah, so again, strong start here from heat number 2. So again, like David was saying, there's no point in getting into this breaststroke and just starting spinning those arms. It is about grasping the water and really just settling into your stroke. Again, looks like we pretty much have a blanket heat here. Just have a quick look at that screen, different angles here, and we'll see who's going to be taking the lead coming up to this 25-metre mark.
Yeah, it looks like lane 9 is moving really strongly. Has a really nice sort of poppy stroke. He's going to get in first here. Can he get under 33? Get under! 33.1, not bad. It's Finn Ilse, 33.13.
33.13, that's a 2.5 PB on a 50-metre breaststroke. That's a very considerable PB there for the Coleraine swimmer. So, yeah, good job there.
Lane 9 and lane 1 getting 1-2. You don't see that usually. You never see that, do you? Heats positions 1 and 2 given by the 2 outside lanes. That's rare. Usually it's the heats in the lanes in the middle.
Absolutely, but like we said on the 50 metres, it could be anyone's.
It could be anybody, yeah.
It's just down to those kind of technical things and making sure you get your hands on the wall first.
Heat number 3. Last heat before we get into the seeded heats. Pace being upped a wee bit now.
Yeah, so again, fastest qualifier into this heat. We have got Ryan Aites from Dolphin. He's qualified in a 32.64. So again, like David said, a little bit faster this heat here. So they're really going to want to drive to make one of the 3 finals this evening. So we've got our A, B and junior final this evening. So really strong, powerful start from a lot of these lads here. So again, pretty much a blanket race, but it does look like lane number 5 does have the lead. Lane number 5, Lorcan Cogwell of Banbridge, coming into the final few strokes.
Yeah, lovely. 32.41. You know, he thought he was going to get caught between strokes there, but he kind of adjusted well. That's the thing on breaststroke and butterfly. Breaststroke a bit easier probably than butterfly to do. You've got to adjust your strokes. You know, these swimmers will know 10, 15 metres out if they're going to hit the finish on a full stroke. And you know, the really good swimmers, the really great swimmers can change their stroke ever so slightly, go slightly longer for 1 or 2 strokes, go slightly shorter for 1 or 2 strokes to know that they're going to hit that wall perfectly. Because on 50 breast, it's all about getting your hand on the wall. So that was a good swim from him.
Absolutely, we've had some good PBs there from the first 3 heats, so I'm sure all these previous heats are going to be happy that they set PBs. But like David said, we're moving into the first of our seeded heats, and again, fastest qualifier, we've got Dermot Sutton of the National Centre Limerick, so he is right down in a 28.90, so it'll be interesting to see how he takes it out in this prelim swim.
Yeah, Dermot Sutton, real twitchy young man. I used to race him in the 50 freestyle, so he loves these 50s. So we'll see what he has. Watch out for him, the 25. Good off the block. The underwater pull out, very important on breaststroke, and that glide is important. As you hit the water, you want to glide a bit longer because you are the fastest when you're streamlined. So it is Sutton with that kind of high rate, keeping those arms real straight. But he's entered in here on a 28.9, so looking to post something in and around that, if not faster. So 50 breast isn't going to take it out of you as much as a 400 medley would, but he's going to get in there on a 29.3, just outside his best. But not bad for a morning. You take that. He's more of a freestyle guy, so probably just doing this to sort of fill the days up.
Yeah, no, strong swim there from Dermot. He does have a very kind of short stroke at the front, doesn't he? He must have a good grasp on the water that he can just bring the elbows kind of just to where his lats are and then drive forward. But like you said, he's a tall lad, definitely likes a 50 sprint, so he seems to transfer that speed between all strokes.
Yeah, you got a few swimmers do that, don't you? 50 freestylers sometimes just are good at all the 50s just because they've got that kind of twitch. Michael Andrew very famously does that, the American guy. You know, he's world class at all 450s. It's unbelievable.
Sometimes it is down to that genetics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you have those slow twitch fibers or you have those fast twitch fibers, and you can just have that kind of sprint in you as well.
Yeah, coming in now, Cook, our fastest qualifier here. Very muscle-bound man. Look at him there in lane 4, but he lifts some weights. And then Andrew Feenan, obviously in lane 3. Shave that beard. Thank you, Andrew.
I think that's starting to annoy you now, is it, David?
No, it's gone. It's gone. I'm happy. But he's going for just a front end 200 split here. So expect him to just have a really low rate compared to the rest. So watch out for lane 3. But I expect lane 4 to take this one out. So we'll sort of see here. Yeah, last the surface. Look to see that lower rate from him. But it is Cook who's taking this out. Nice kind of fast rate. Look how high his glutes are. You can see his glutes right out of the water. His back. That's a good sign on breaststroke if that back stays up out of the water. But it is Cook with an immensely high rate. Lane 5 as well. Who's that in lane 5? Reed of Bangor. Yeah, Cook in on a 29.0. Reed of Bangor and a 29.6. Dunyan, 30.2, the freestyle specialist.
Yeah, Oisin really looks like he has a lovely breaststroke stroke. He really does look like he's kind of gliding just on the top of the water, so his hips are staying quite high. He's kind of got that good undulation movement on his breaststroke, so looks like he's definitely got a little bit more in the tank. So again, like you said, just slightly above his PB, so qualified in at 28.64 and going 29.0, but he was looking well there in the 50 swim.
Yeah, I'll be wanting a wee bit faster than that tonight. Irish record standing. It is Green. 26.94, that's a really fast time, Dara Green. Fantastic breaststroker. 26.94, I'd say that'll stay for a wee while. Ireland always producing male breaststrokers. Every single Olympic cycle there's one. Going the whole way back to Andrew Bree, even before him. There was more Andrew Bree in Sydney and Michael Williamson, Athens, Bree in Beijing. Then Barry Murphy, 2012. You know, there's always Irish breaststrokers, and then Green was obviously in Tokyo, so it's definitely one of our strong events, isn't it, India?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Ireland is definitely a breaststroke specialist, so you kind of, like you said, pretty much every major competition that we've had a major breaststroker at it. So moving into the final heat now, heat number 6, and again, Owen Corby, fastest qualifier, 27.99.
Yeah, so expect a 200 split from him here. Expect him to come out of the water to raise last. And just expect that longer kind of, yeah. He's so good, he'll probably still win. But yeah, he's just controlling that. You see the difference in rates. You know, he's just setting a stroke up for that 200 breaststroke. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. I think it's tomorrow. But it looks like it's a swimmer just above him. Gonna take the win. Yeah, Liam O'Connor at 29.37. So that's a wee PB for him. Corby on a 29.4. That's not bad. If he splits that in his first 50 of his 200, that'll be quite nice.
Yeah, 29.44 for the first 50 split of a 200 is looking strong. So, yeah, no, great swim there from Owen, and also from Liam setting that slight PB, 29 low.
So that's the men's 50-metre breaststroke in the books. We're straight on to the blue ribbon. The women's 100-metre freestyle. Really looking forward to this one. Let me just check who all's in it. Yeah, we've got Catterson, Naomi Trait, Erin Reardon. And in that final heat, who have we got? We've got Danielle Hill, Grace Davison. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Interesting to see what sort of level they go this morning. I think they'll probably go for it a wee bit, some of these swimmers, just kind of get the cobwebs out. I always kind of went for it when I swam 100 free in the morning. I just thought, you might as well. It's only 2 lengths, you know.
Absolutely. We know Danielle Hill. She took the gold in the 50 meter front crawl at 25. What point was she at? 25.
Yeah, she was 25.3.
25.3. So she's definitely on form with her freestyle events this weekend.
Yeah,
so yeah, I know that she does like to probably take it out a little bit fast and then maybe be a little bit more relaxed. So she's coming in just to get herself a good lane for the final swim this evening. But you know Danielle is definitely an evening swimmer, isn't she?
She is. Yeah, she takes it very easy in the mornings usually, and then comes back for the evenings and drops monstrous time. But a lot of these girls be looking to sort of cement their place for that women's 4x1 medley team, the Irish team. Coming up to be a really strong team. If you sort of look at the individual swimmers, you know, you'll have maybe Danielle on the backstroke, Mona McSharry on the breast, Ellen Walsh on the butterfly, and then at the minute it would be Catterson on the freestyle. Like, that team is right in the mix for Paris 2024 qualification. You know, you've got McSharry and Walsh, obviously world class times in the middle. Danielle Hill, an Olympian. You know, you're getting the, you know, if that team's at the World Championships this summer, that could be a team that could really qualify for Paris. That would be fantastic to get a women's team there, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Our women's team is really putting Ireland on the map these days. You know, like you said, we've got Ellen Walsh, we've got Mona McSharry. They're already setting world-class times. So Mona McSharry in that 100 breaststroke yesterday, she's gone second fastest in the world this year so far. Just that Dutch girl beating her in a 105.9. So second fastest time this year. It's like we definitely think that Ireland's going to be on the map. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be great. We obviously had that men's team there in Tokyo, the 4x200. So girls just missed out on that one. It's so tough to qualify a relay team for the Olympics. It's so tough. Have to be top 16 in the world. So if you go to World Championships this summer and you come top 12, you're automatically there next year. So comes around quick, Olympics. You think it's just next year, but it's all starting now.
Something slightly different about relay racing as well. You can always give that extra 5 or 10% when you're swimming for a team and not just swimming for yourself.
I was always better on a relay, yeah, always. It's strange, whole different dynamic. But here we go, heat 1 of the women's 100 meter freestyle. 5 swimmers in this one.
Yeah, so just quickly running down through the names. So again, we've got 7 heats, so some of these girls definitely going to try and push their times in these previous few heats, but just running down here, 5 swimmers. Lane number 2, we've got Shiva Brady of Lisburn City. Lane number 3, Ava Rock of New Ross. Lane number 4, Abby Cunningham of Kilkenny. Lane 5, Aoife Gardner of Sundayswell. And lane number 6, we've got Amy Sheridan of the NAC.
Taking it out, it's the middle 3 lanes, just sort of eyeball on each other. It could hardly split them. Don't you dare split them. 30.86. It is Abby Cunningham. So now, after coming off that wall, now you just got to lay the gauntlet down, just go for it, kick for home, and hang on. The 100 meter freestyle is just a sprint at the end of the day. Control the first sort of 25-ish, and then just absolutely go.
Absolutely, they're looking strong going into that first 50 again. Fastest qualifier, we've got a 104.68 in this heat, so they're going to need to really kick down kind of in these last 10 metres. So again, coming into the flags, they should be taking their last breath, just putting their head down. And it looks like lane number 4 is going to take this, and she does. 103.71 for Abby Cunningham, so breaking that 104 barrier. So going in again, 104.68 to bring it down to a 103.71. So nearly a full second PB there, David.
Yeah, great swim from the girls there. Brady coming in from Lisburn here, power swimmer. She's in on a time of, what was her best? In the 127.2. So she's got a 129.0, so just outside her best, but that's still a nice swim. Tough to get up in the morning and smash out a PB. So that's heat 1 in the books. India mentioned there, really important to keep that head down right at the end of the race. You don't want to be breathing, especially. Never mind the last 5, really, the last 8 metres, 9, 10 metres. I would go 10 metres. Some world-class swimmers will go 15 at the end and just put the head down and go. Because when you limit that breathing, you limit that body movement, don't you, India?
Absolutely, yeah. So it is really about kind of training yourself as well. So I know we talk about strength training, we talk about training in the gym, but a lot of these swimmers, probably sprint swimmers, will be doing sets such as like lung buster and that kind of thing, and actually training their lungs to keep that oxygen capacity coming into the final part of their races as well. Always horrible sessions in the pool when you have to do lung buster sets. Lung
busters, yeah. Yeah. I used to have to do 50s, maybe 10, 12, 50s, on however much rest you wanted. And every single one had to be no breath. That was the set. And if you did, and if you failed, and if you breathed on one of the you started it again. So you could just take you could take 2 hours if you wanted to do it, but that was how I built up my capacity. Yeah,
absolutely
tough though. And heat 2 though. Looks like a full heat, isn't it?
Full heat we have here, David. Yeah. Again, so on to heat number 2. So there's only a second actually separating these entire 10 swimmers. So we're going to have some fast swims out to that first 15. Let's see who can hold on. But quickly running through, we've got Wilson in 0, Quinn in 1, Ryan in 2, Mooney in 3, McInerney in 4, Dempsey in 5. We've got Mulholland in 6. We've got Yelverton in 7. We've got Stone in 8 and Ramk in 9.
Yeah, it looks like lane number 2. Jane Ryan. Sounds like Shane Ryan, doesn't it? Jane Ryan coming in. 29.7, yep, she's out first. Up there in lane 7 as well, hanging tough, Abby Yelverton of Limerick. So this is it now, last 25. The swimmers will see that red part of the lane line and they'll know 25 out.
Yeah, so it looks like lane number 2 is really taking it out for her. So again, Jane Ryan, as long as she can hold on coming into these last 10 metres. Again, like we said, she just needs to put that head down. So taking her last breath now, she should really just be swimming right into the wall and getting the final touch.
It's a bit of a slow finish there, Jane Ryan. That last right arm needs to come over a bit quicker, but hey, still got a hand on the wall.
Absolutely, and a 1:02.29 as well. So again, a 2.5 PB on a 100 metre freestyle. So good swim there from Jane, the athlone swimmer. Only 15 years of age as well. So 1:02.29 at 15 years of age. It's a decent swim.
Yeah, fantastic. And Yelverton as well. It was 1 and 2 at the 50 or 1 and 2 at the 100. So it won't be long before we're getting into some sub 60 swims. Just these swimmers now stepping up the gears. These swimmers will all be going for it max effort. You know, not guaranteed, of course, to make a final. Some of the older swimmers that are kind of, well, not guaranteed. You got to do the race, but you know, very likely to make a final. Will take it a bit easier.
Absolutely, and these girls, the previous heats, they need to really gain that experience of learning how to swim fast in the morning as well. So I know we have more experienced swimmers that can probably take it a little bit easier, but it is good experience for them to know that you have some events you do have to push it in the morning to try and make that final swim. So getting that experience at a young age is good for these girls as well. So moving on to a little bit of a faster heat. So 1:01.98 is our fastest qualifier in heat number 3, and that is Aisling Marriott of Swan Leisure.
Absolutely, lane 0 there. I recognise that suit. She just did the 400 medley. Who's that? Lucy O'Brien. Yeah, that's right. That's a tough one. 400 medley and 100 free, just like Grace Davison. Good on you. Here we go, heat 3.
So again, I know we spoke about it yesterday, David, but it's in this 100 freestyle. Would you be looking to settle into your rhythm straight away, or would you be looking to put your head down to the 15 metres on this first 50? You're talking about that easy speed yesterday. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend not breathing for up to 15 metres. You know, you don't want to set the body into oxygen debt straight away. It might feel good to do it at the time, but you'll suffer at the back end. So I would recommend just diving in, nice control, 3 or 4 strokes, then take your breath, and then just settle into your rhythm. You should know exactly what your breathing rhythm is. You shouldn't have to think about that during this race. That should be dialed in from training, but it is McLean in a 29.0 taking the lead. But the field's starting to bunch up now. Yeah, good start there from McLean, but like David said, it is starting to bunch up. It looks like she still might just have the lead, but it does look like lane number 3 as well is gaining some ground in here. That's Abigail Minto from Temple Oak, so I think she might have just taken the lead in these final 10 metres. Again, just putting the head down there, girls, and finishing, yes, she does, in a 60.81, so good swim there from Abigail. Again, at nearly 1.5 second PB as well, so we're clocking PBs left, right and centre here, David.
McLean is loving that, giving it the finger wag. Love to see that. She got a PB. That was fantastic. Great swimming. Love to see a swimmer celebrate when they do well, even if it's their own wee success or a PB. You know, celebrate it. Take it. You don't have to just win gold to celebrate. Swimming is a personal battle. It's you against the clock. If you so happen to beat the person next to you, so be it. You can't control what they do. Absolutely. It's about celebrating those small wins as well, because like we said yesterday, swimming is such a grueling sport. There's so many hours training, and if you don't celebrate those small wins, it's kind of just like mentally you just be like wondering why you're getting up early in the morning to be training. So definitely, yeah, these girls should be celebrating these small wins
And moving on to the next heat as well, we've got our first couple of swimmers that are clocking in at a 60 points. So we kind of spoke about that initial barrier for female 100 freestylers, where they want to break that 60-second barrier. So I'm sure these two middle girls here, we've got Poppy and Sophia, they'll probably be looking to break that 60-second barrier for the first time.
Yeah, that'll no doubt be in their head. Although you don't want to focus on that. You don't want to be thinking about what time you want to go before you swim. Usually that's detrimental to your swim. You want to just focus on the swim and just swim free and let it happen, and usually it does. But here we go. If they want to break 60, they're going to have to be out a good bit under 30. But here we go. Very kind of level field. Nobody's standing out from that first 25. Maybe looks like lane 2. Lily Maguire.
Yeah, it looks like Lily might take this first 50. She's looking strong. Good controlled stroke rate there. She's going to have to really hammer up that stroke rate, but keep that grab on the water as well. So it's Sophia O'Neill actually, so 29.48, lane number 5. This is taking the turn there, so it's going to be a battle here, I think, between lane 5 and lane 2 to take this heat.
Yeah, going to have to be back in a 30.4 or better to break that 60 bar. It could be a tough ask, but some of these girls are pretty close to negative split in these 100 freestyles, so we'll see. She is motoring in the middle.
Yeah.
Who's that? Trojan swimmer, Sophia O'Neill. Could be close, just outside though, I think, but not a bad swim. 101.17 for her. Yeah, to get on that, she's shaking her head. Yeah, she wanted that sub 60. You got to be out a bit quicker, Sophia. You got to be out in a 28 at least, I think. What do you think, India? 28? Mid to high to even give yourself a shot?
To give yourself a shot on a 100 freestyle, they need to be looking at least a 28 high, to be honest. To be, especially when you have that turn, if you don't nail a turn, and if you're not the strongest underwater, you do need to give yourself that extra couple of seconds to be able to get back on that second 50 on a 100 freestyle. So yeah, I think she just needs to go a little bit faster.
Yeah, I was talking to Max McCusker last night. He won the 100 freestyle in 49.7, I think it was, but he was out in a 23 high, 9. And I said to him after, you just weren't out fast enough. You're giving yourself too much to do in the back end. And he was saying that, yeah, he's because sort of 100 freestyle, a lot of people have retired. Jordan Sloan, Jack McMillan's moved on to GB, and Shane Ryan wasn't in it. I've stopped swimming. He said he didn't have those guys to get out with to the 50. So, you just got to get out and put yourself in that position at 50. If you're not out fast enough, there's just no chance. It's all well and good coming back quick, but if you're not out quick enough, you forget it.
Absolutely, especially on like we said before, it is a sprint event. So if you finish at that wall and you're not pretty much gasping for air, you probably know that you probably could have taken out a little bit harder. But moving on to heat number 5, it's the first of our seeded heats. We've got our fastest qualifier here. It's Erin Reardon of she was from the NAC, so National Centre Dublin, and she has her time of 56.46.
Yeah, I love Erin Reardon's stroke. Just real twitchy athlete, just straight to the point. A real tight, controlled stroke. You'll see it here. Just love that. Just really high in the water. Look at that.
Yeah, pretty much looks like she's swimming on her own here. We have no one in lane number 3 and lane number 5, so she gets a centre of the pool to herself. But like you said, David, she's got an amazing stroke here. She's really high up in the water, so good turnover here as well. So she's going to be looking to go out at least kind of 26 high, maybe 27 low.
Yeah, it's going to be 27 low. You called it. I love her lower head position is. You can hardly see her breathe. Just sneaking that head in, limiting that head movement, because your body follows what the head does. So if your head moves too much, the body will follow. She'll be motoring here, just trying to keep that leg kick going. Just control that rate, keep that rate up, and then she'll know she swims in this pool all the time. When that floor changes, she knows 15 out, 10 out, and the head down. She's going to be right in here in a 55, maybe 56, 56.8 for her. She's coming in with the best time of 56.4, so just outside 56.8. But she'll be back tonight, no problem.
Absolutely, a good swim from Erin. I know herself, she's come from UCD as well. She's moved over to the NAC, and she definitely is more of an evening swimmer, I think. So she likes that competition. Right, okay. She definitely likes to come in the evening. So I think that's a good confidence boost for her, that she can still hit that 56 in a morning swim, especially seeing as she was swimming on her own. There wasn't much competition, there was no competition beside her. She had no one in lane 3 and no one in lane 5. So she's definitely clocked herself a final swim there with that time. So I'm sure she'll be coming back faster this evening.
Yeah, she went out quick, and like India said, she'll do better with a race next year. With the likes of Catterson and Hill. It's definitely easier to race people. Sometimes when you're just on your own, it's hard to kind of gauge how fast you're going, how slow you're going. You can only base it on your own effort levels, and sometimes that's what kind of in doubt because you're tapered and rested and you're not too sure what, so sometimes good to swim on your own, but sometimes it's nice to have people to race. But anyway, Catterson, the first time we're seeing her, 200 metre Irish senior record holder in this event. So she'll be looking at that 100, 200, 100 today, 200 on Wednesday on the final day. So she's been training really, really well. Heard from her coach Kevin Anderson. And her strength and conditioning coach Ryan Keating said she's been really putting the head down and just training really, really hard. Tough coming off a good year. Sometimes, Commonwealth year, she's swam really well. Got that Irish senior record. It's sometimes tough to keep that motivation, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially when you have kind of that pressure on you as well. Once you've set the Irish senior record, you definitely do have all eyes on you as well. So being able to perform kind of event after event, it is a lot of pressure on these girls. Well, all these swimmers, to be honest. But let's see how she gets on in this heat swim. So again, like you said, Victoria Catterson is our fastest qualifier into the second last heat of the 100 freestyle. She's in on a 55.41. So if she takes there fast enough, I'm sure she knows that she's going to be kind of dominating this field. So it's just about her getting into this final swim this evening.
Yeah, I know she's been working on her speed. When I used to train with her in National Centre Ulster, her speed was always her thing. The coach would put me next to her and she'd be like, Victoria, try and keep up with Dave to try and get that speed up because she's so good on the back end, but her speeds really came on so well. 27.5 on the way out, that's not bad. Just keep those legs going, she'll come back strong, she always does. Keep that length, keep that head position.
Yeah, I'm always very impressed by her second half of her race. She's always able to come back really, really strong. You see that in her 200 that she's able to come back pretty much just as strong as her first 100. So she's looking well here. Coming into the final few strokes, kind of just put her head down. But I think she's going to be clocking a little bit slower. So 56.70. So just slightly faster than Erin Reardon of the previous heat. But pretty much she actually went out slower than Erin in that.
She did,
that first 50. So
I probably expect her to though.
Yeah, so you can see that speed in that second 50 that Victoria Catterson has. But yeah, she definitely clocked herself a final swim anyway, 56.70.
Yeah, and first swim of the meet for her, It's rare that comes on day 3 of a meet for your first swim, but get those cobwebs out, Victoria. You're into the meet now. Back home, rested for tonight. So next, final heat here. Hill, Davison, McElaurin, your fastest 3 seeded swimmers. Be interesting to see what Hill does. No doubt she'll do a Danielle Hill and Danielle Chill.
Yeah, even the way she walks out into the bank as well, she just looks so relaxed. She walks slowly out to her block. She takes her time taking off her clothes. You can just see the experience that Danielle Hill has. She just, just rocks up. She knows that she owns this pool when it comes to the freestyle events.
I'm going to start calling her Danielle Chill from now on. That's literally what she's like, isn't she? Just going to see what Davison does as well, because she's obviously done that 400 medley earlier, so I think she'll probably just try and get through as well. So 56 mids currently the fastest.
Again, yeah, David. So heat number 7, this is our final heat of the 100 freestyle. We've got Danielle Hill, again, lane 4, fastest qualifier with a 54.87. Like you said, our fastest qualifier so far is Victoria Catterson in a 56.70. But she's looking strong coming down this first 50. Danielle Hill looking controlled, looking, don't know, she's going to go for it. She's looking fast coming into this first 50. Going to turn here in a 26 mid. Nah, 27.1.
Taking it out a bit easier then, oh, she's switching off now, you can see. There we go, a wee bit. Yeah, watch her shut this down, folks. But Davison hanging strong with her. Yeah, she's just definitely going through those motions. You can see that rate just not as high as it usually would be. Just getting through. She's going to come in roughly on a 56 inches as well. Actually, Davison might end up taking it. Yeah, Davison's going to take it, I think. Yeah, 57.0 for Davison.
Good swim there from Davison, actually. So half a second PB, or half a second on her qualifying time there, 57.08.
What did she go? 08. The Irish junior record is a 57.06 of Sharika McMahon, 2012 Olympian. Ulster swimmer, so she'll get that tonight.
She'll definitely get that
Davison will
tonight,
get
yeah.
that tonight.
So great swim there from Grace Davison, and like you said, Danielle Hill taking it out in a 27.1, but really just switching off and just shutting down and pretty much looking like she was doing a swim down on that second 50. So we know that she's got a lot more left in the tank now for the final swim this evening.
Yeah, that was expected, wasn't it? You know, no point completely gassing yourself, but it's going to be Reardon and Catterson are going to be our two fastest qualifiers for tonight, joined by Davison and Hill either side of them. So that's going to be a fantastic race tonight. It always is that 100 free. It's been a battle between Catterson and Hill over the last few years. You know, I think the short course, Catterson actually ended up getting her, if my memory is correct.
Yeah, I think we know that it will have a good fight between Catterson and Hill, but it'll be nice to see Davison kind of swimming alongside them, and they'll be able to drag her along to that Irish junior record. So if she's able to set that 57.08 in this morning's swim, I think having those three girls kind of in the centre lanes will really pull her along to bring her down to that 56 second mark, hopefully for her.
Yeah, for sure. She's so young as well, you know, getting faster every time she swims. So moving on now to the men's 100 metres butterfly. Irish senior record holder is Shane Ryan. Never used to really swim this event, just dabbled in it sort of Tokyo year before that to give Brendan a run for his money.
Absolutely. You've had a few conversations with Shane Ryan this weekend. How do you think he's feeling in this meet?
I think he's feeling good for this. I think he's a wee bit apprehensive, you know, with his shoulder injuries and coming off like a tough few years for him. You know, Shane's a confident swimmer. You know, he's a guy who'll swims off confidence as opposed to swimming off maybe a load of work or, you know, a good taper, or, you know, he just swims off confidence. If he swam well in season, he's going to swim well. So Shane, he doesn't have that at the minute, so he's kind of in uncharted waters. But he's so experienced and so talented that you can expect him just to get something out of nothing. Anyway, heat one here. Only the three swimmers.
Absolutely. So we just have the three swimmers here. So 100 fly, we've kind of spoken about it before. We've had the 50 fly coming up, and that was pretty much just that splash and dash. But 100 fly, a little bit more technical. So again, just really trying to settle into their rhythm. So a lot of these swimmers are probably going to either have maybe a breathing every 1 and 1, 1 and 2, etc. But they need to keep that rhythm throughout the entire 100 to really maintain that pace. And we've already spoken about it a couple of times before now, just keeping those hips high in the water as well. So good chest drive down into the water and getting that leg kick up behind them as well. But it does look like we have our clear favourite for heat number 1. That is lane number 5. He's looking well again. He's posted a time of 1:06.46. So let's see what he finishes it on here.
Yeah, it's Halakovic, 63.93.
Great time there. He had a qualifying time of 1:06.46 to 3-second PB.
Yeah,
nice
fantastic swim from him. Really good in there, took it out really fast. It's important in India as well. I know 100 fly was your event, like to keep that chin really low as you breathe, isn't it? So because if your head goes up too high, your hips will drop. So to keep that chin nice and low on every breath.
Absolutely. I was slightly different to everyone else when it came to the 100 fly. I actually took my breaths to the side, so I would breathe to the right hand side for my 100 fly, and that was actually my coach Earl McCarthy. He changed over my stroke, so I used to swim in ESB under Bill McCarthy, and we noticed that when I was coming up on a 100 fly that there was too much resistance at my chest because it came up too high. So being able to turn my head to the side, I just stayed a lot lower and was able to bring my time down quite significantly from just kind of changing that head position. But most of the time you'll see that the likes of Michael Phelps, it pretty much looks like they're breaking the water with their chin. That's how low that they stay on that breath. So yeah, I'm sure these lads have probably watched Michael Phelps over and over again. They'll probably try to emulate that as well.
The only anomaly to that was Chad Leclos, wasn't it? Chad Leclos, just South African Olympic champion, 200 fly guy. He came so high out of the water.
So high.
For some reason it worked for him.
Yeah, no, he was he must have just been a machine under the water, to be honest, because he came so high, and he pretty much took a breath pretty much every one, especially on that kind of middle 100 of his 200 fly. So he did have a good rhythm on his first 50, and that second 50 he would definitely put his head down a lot more. But that middle 100 he would be breathing every one, so he's coming up high on every single stroke. So technically he probably was swimming faster than a lot of the field. But
good under the water, wasn't he? And
very good under the water.
Had so much momentum. But anyway, back to the pool here. Looks like number 6, Alex Barrett. I swam with a fantastic swimmer in Loughborough called Adam Barrett, so Barrett is a good name for fly swimmers. He's coming through nicely. It's going to be right below, bottom of your screen. Didn't come up for you, hopefully it does in a second. Yeah, it's Switzer, Noah Switzer of lane 1. and a 104.5. No, that's not right.
It's not, no.
It's McCarthy of Lane 2 and New Ross. We're reading it on the main scoreboard here. Yeah, he was a 101.49, folks. Dara Hughes second, 101.59, and Alex Barrett 101.65. So we're close.
There's your official results on screen there, guys. So yeah, 101.49. So Donncha McCarthy of New Ross. Good swim there from him. He was clocked in a 104.12. So significant PB there in a 100 fly. And again, 100 fly is a grueling event as well. It really does start to burn, especially the shoulders, the lungs, the legs by the end. So I'm sure they'll be happy with those kind of swims in their heats.
Yeah, I love watching the 100 fly. I think it's fascinating to see the different. How it's not like freestyle or backstroke where like, you know, you can keep the rate up a bit easier because you got both arms going, but like the rates can plummet, can't they, on fly if you're tired? Like because you're just trying to get that power of your hands out of the water can be so hard.
Absolutely, you'll probably see a lot of these camera shots here when they come into the last 10 metres. You'll see who's really tying up on a 100 fly, and I know it's only 2 lengths in comparison to some of the other strokes, but you really do start to feel that kind of dead heavy arms sometimes on that last 10 metres of a 100 fly. So again, moving on to heat number 3 here of the men's 100 fly, we have our fastest qualifier. We've got Ben Moran of Aer Lingus, so he has a time of 101.56. So he's going to need to be going out again around 28 high, 29 low if he wants to be breaking that 61 second barrier. So I think it looks like lane number 3 is taking it out strong here though. So we'll have a quick look at these split times as they turn at their first 50. And yeah, we have lane number 3, Cormac Rinn, turning in a 27.85. So that's a very strong first half of this 100 fly.
Yeah, looking strong, keeping that momentum going, keeping that power going, especially with the kicks as well. On the 100 fly, you want to traditionally do one butterfly kick at the start of the stroke and then one butterfly kick at the end as your hands are coming out of the water. So you've got some kind of constant movement for propulsion, but it is going to be top of your screen maybe. No.
Lane number 1, I think.
Lane 4 or 1.
Yeah. Killian O'Loughlin Brophy taking it there in a 1:00.28. So really strong. I think Cormac Rinn took it out just a little bit too hard there in the 27 high. You definitely start to see that stroke rate really slowing down in that last 25 metres. So I think he knows what he needs to go back and train on to maybe just his pacing just a little bit more. But good swim there from Killian O'Loughlin Brophy again, 60.28 for the swimmer.
Yeah, fantastic swim there. So coming in now to the first of our 3 seeded heats in that arrowhead formation. We've got Evan Bailey, that young talent from New Ross. Good swim yesterday for him in the 100 free, 50.7. He was a wee bit upset, but I was like, Evan, PB, bro. Take them when you get them. 50.7 is very good at that age. And Dylan Regis was fantastic on that 50 fly, that Ulster senior record, so he'll be in the mix here maybe for European under 23 qualification, or he's also young enough for European juniors, so keep an eye on him as well.
Absolutely. I was chatting to Fran Ronan, so that's Evan Bailey's coach this morning, and like you were saying, you know, he still got a PB yesterday, but I think he is starting to put a good bit of pressure on himself. You know, he's kind of coming through the ranks now, so I think he knows that people are watching him, people are watching his swims and stuff, so he does just need to remember to come into these races and just remember to relax and know that his training has taken him to these kind of times as well. So hopefully Evan can just kind of settle into some of these races. But again, Evan Bailey is our fastest qualifier here, 54.51. Looking strong down this first 50 as well. We know that fly is one of his main events, so he's looking good.
Yeah, I think he's a really good 100 fly swimmer. I think he should be focusing on the 100 fly, 100 free. He's just got that sort of pop to his stroke, that twitch to his stroke, but he's out in a 25.8 next to Leggett, another young Ulsterman, 25.95. Like I mentioned, Regis chilling at the top there. Looking nice, but it is going to be Bailey. I think he's just going to carry this through. I love his constant forward propulsion, everything moving forward in one motion. Regis looking strong though, coming home really strong. The Lisburn swimmer coached by Stan Shepherd, coming in really nice. It is going to be Bailey though. Yeah, 54.81 for Bailey. Regis in a 55.5. So just outside their best there. Bailey is obviously a 54.5.
Yeah, Regis is having a great program actually this time around. He's kind of clocking PBs, and yeah, Kenny in a 56.79 and to clock a 55 there. It's a really, really strong swim. But like you said, I love watching Evan Bailey swim 100 fly. Like technically he's perfect. He hits the wall perfectly every single time. It's like he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to that 100 fly.
Yeah, I really, really like it. I'm really looking forward to McCusker coming up. And Shane Ryan, of course. Always good to see him swim, isn't it? First time I've seen him dive off the blocks, so you watch out how much distance he gets off the blocks. It's absolutely ridiculous. He almost hits the flags.
Jumping like a salmon, is he, David?
He leaps like a salmon. He leaps like a salmon, all right. It's unbelievable to watch. We've got McCusker here. I really like watching McCusker, that freestyle fly specialist.
So he taking double gold last night.
Double gold, yeah, 100 free 50 fly. Trains out in America.
Yeah, doing really well.
So he was telling me he's just coming off, obviously, the short course yard season, so he's been tapering for like 6 weeks. So he's hanging on for dear life here. He said he was a bit disappointed yesterday, but he's had a good few years, so you can't just swim fast every single time. Sometimes it's about turning up and just equaling. When you get to that level, sometimes staying where you are is good enough, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You can't expect to improve every single time, especially like you said at this level. So if you're improving every single time, you'll be breaking world records within a year or two. So just being able to come and swim kind of on your PB or just thereabouts is also a great swim for some of these swimmers as well. Yeah.
So watch the underwaters of McCusker. Very fast rate. Yeah, lovely. Look at that. Look at the undulation in the back. Guys, speed, folks. Okay, so McCusker out nice. He's got a nice long stroke. His best time is a 52.63, so he's literally 0.1 off the Irish senior record. So him and Shane are pretty much dead on the same. 52 mid's fast. I don't think he'd go for that this morning. He's going to be out 20. He's out 24.6. That's fast. It's really fast. He won the 50 fly last night in the 23.9, so he'll want to be 24 low tonight. But I think he's switching off a wee bit maybe. Kind of just.
Always so impressed is that kick behind. I know like butterfly, people think that it's very much a shoulder stroke, but look at the power that's coming from the back of his legs. So again, we've spoken about this hip drive before, but he is slightly switching off now, but I've never seen so much power come from the back of someone's legs in a 100 fly. So finishing here in a 54.04. So I think he did slightly switch off there, David, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, definitely. On a 24.6 even was not, he's shaking his head, maybe he was going for it, I don't know. And sometimes you're not going for it, but because you're not going for it, it feels harder. It's weird in swimming, folks. It's like when you're not going 100%, you go maybe like 90%, and sometimes it feels harder because in the back of your head, you're like, oh, well, this shouldn't be as hard. And then you look at the time and you're like, oh, it's a 54.0. It's 1.5 over my best. Why did that feel so hard? But because you didn't try, you didn't put yourself in that position, isn't it? It's strange.
Absolutely. He has a busy program as well, so I'd say he's probably starting to feel that little bit of fatigue. So probably if he did go in and he was looking to take it a little bit more control, a little bit more relaxed, maybe he doesn't realise maybe that fatigue is also adding on a couple of hundredths, couple of tenths seconds there as well. So hopefully he can just relax, go down, get his cool down done, and then just be ready for this final swim.
Yeah, he'll want to be out quicker than 4.6. He'll want to be out 4 low, definitely. But Shane here, interesting to see him. Watch him off the block. He's like an antelope off the block.
Yes, that's some serious power off the block there from Shane.
And serious. Stop the race there. How much has he won by? Right, nice long stroke. You'll want to be protecting that shoulder, he said. He was very wary of that shoulder. I said, Shane, just relax. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just nice to have him back in the pool kind of swimming, some more events than just his back roll events as well. So hopefully he can just get in and enjoy. But he's coming out fast, 24.6, so similar enough to McCusker there in the previous heat. So let's just see how he takes his back end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. He got the opposite side of the spectrum. Jack Casson, the 400 medley, new Irish senior record holder. Completely two different styles of animals. So Ryan just going through the motions here, definitely. Just trying to get time in for the final. Tying up a wee bit. See how that short? It's just shortening a wee bit for him. Yeah. He's 53.6, not bad, Shane. Not bad at all, mate. 53.6. Just see, when you get tired on fly, that's what I was saying earlier, wasn't it, India? When you get tired, that stroke really shortens, doesn't it?
Absolutely. On a 100 fly, it's like it hits you out of nowhere as well. You could feel actually really, really strong up to the 75 metre mark, maybe the 80 metre mark, and then out of nowhere, it's like you just hit this wall and your arms just start to like fall in the water kind of thing. So yeah, like we said, he looked really strong in that kind of first 50. He's pretty much like staying on top of the water, but I think that last 10 metres might have hurt just a little bit, but he did come back strong enough, I guess, going out in 24.6 and still being able to come back in a 53. So maybe he just needs to work on that pace just a little bit. I think he does have a little bit more going out in that first 50, but maybe be nice to him there. Nice to have him back in the pool though.
Yeah, back tonight. That'll be a good race between him and McCusker. So that concludes our 100 fly. flying through the events this morning. We're coming on to the women's 50 breaststroke. We'll have McSharry in that one.
Yeah, we've got Mona McSharry coming up in heat number 7 again. She set that Irish senior record last night, 106.0. So really, really strong swim. I know we thought that she had the 105 in her, and she definitely does. It's only the start of her long course season here, so I think, you know, the kind of summer events she'll definitely be smashing that 106 mark. And again, second fastest time in the world this year so far. So, you know, she's definitely, I'm sure she'll be setting some strong swims in the 50 as well.
She'll be right in the mix of World Championships this summer. She's got a great attitude. I look at her in the warm-up pool. You guys can't, watching the stream, can't see it, but she's just such a professional athlete with going through her pre-pool routines, stretching, everything. She just looks so professional, a real cut above the rest. I'll be watching out for her in Fukuoka this summer. World Championships. But moving on to the women's 50 breast, first heat, just the 7 heats of this?
7 heats of the 50 breaststroke, yeah. So just 3 swimmers in this first heat again. So we've got 3 finals this evening of the 50. It's the A, the B and the junior finals. So some of these girls definitely going to clock a good swim in the heat swim, so for these first few heats. But just running through the names, we've got Erin Robinson in lane 3, Lily Knight of 4 and Emily O'Dwyer in lane number 5.
Yeah, same as the men now, you know, just earlier, you just need to keep that stroke long. You don't want to be shortening up too much on the 50 breast because you will slip water so easily. So much easier than the other 3 strokes, I think. So coming in here, they're all sub 40 swimmers, so they'll want to be maybe down to 30, 38 maybe, 39.0. So that's PBs for the two of them. Erin Robinson slightly outside, but we're talking milliseconds.
Yeah, good swim there from the girls. So again, probably might be some of those girls' first swim, and to get up on the blocks and be able to swim a PB in the heat swim is strong effort from all the girls there. So moving on to heat number 2 as well, slightly faster. We've got some 38 swimmers here as well. So again, these girls will be looking to improve on those times to try and make one of the final swims this evening.
Yeah, and we have Ellen Keane in lane 4 in this one, the Paralympic champion.
Is this the first time we've seen her in the pool this weekend?
I think it is, yeah. I think so. Unless I've missed you, Ellen. Apologies if I missed you. I don't think I have. Okay, here we go. Heat number 2. Full field. The pull out's so important. Hold that glide as you dive in, because you're your fastest of the whole race when you're hitting that, when you're in the air. That's the fastest you'll move the whole race. So when you hit the water, you want to hold that streamline for as long as you can till just before you start to decelerate, and then you start to pull.
So we've got a strong swim here from lane 0 actually. I think she might just be she's pretty much neck and neck with lane number 5 as well. So let's see what times these girls can clock in. But it's looking strong actually. Again, 38 fastest, but 36.94 there for Circa Nireen in lane number 5.
Yeah, PB for her. Nice. Ellen Keane was on an entry time of 38.79. She was 38.78, so a 0.01 PB. She'll be in heavy training. She'll not be rested for this, I don't think. So, good swimming from all the girls there. And the 50s move on so quick. By the time, as soon as the heat in front of you hits the water, you're right back behind the block to get ready. So, not much time to sit around before you dive in.
Yeah, you can't see it here, but these girls are getting themselves pumped up to the race. You see a lot of jumping, a lot of slapping of muscles and that kind of thing as well. So 50 metres again, not much time for air, but it's really about just getting those muscles awake, isn't it, David, before they dive into the water. But again, heat number 3 coming up. We've got our fastest qualifier. It's Cooper of Wexford. She's got a time of 37.70. So like David said, it's all about kind of diving in, getting that first strong pull and getting your breakout nailed as well. So that first stroke coming into the breaststroke, you don't want to pull too early, otherwise your head's not going to break the surface of the water on time.
Definitely, that's right. So, and utilising that fly kick as well. You're allowed 1 fly kick in the underwater pull out. So usually swimmers will take it when they're pulling their arms down through the fall through. So very tight heat here again. These swimmers will all be going for it, looking to get maybe flirting with finals tonight. You never know. Lane
number 7 is looking strong. So final few strokes here. She's going to hit the wall dead on, and she does. Kate McDade, 37.13. So good PB there from Kate. So she brought it down, 38.65 was her entry time. So to bring it down by a second and a half, I'm sure she'll be happy with that swim.
Second and a half on a 50 is some going. Fantastic. So that's heat 3 in the books. We'll have a few more heats before we get to our sort of seeded heats.
Yeah, 50 breaststroke is very different long course, isn't it, to the short course season that we had. So a lot of these girls, some of them would like to utilise that kind of second turn and that second pull out. So again, it's only the start of our long course season now, so it's nice to see some of these girls, getting those PBs and knowing that their long course season is going well. And we spoke about it yesterday, some of these club swimmers don't actually have access to the 50 metre pool, so to be able to come in and still be able to swim PBs, I'm sure it's a good confidence boost for them for the rest of the season.
It is, because long course, it really is like a different sport. The short course is completely different. You need to be a completely different kind of swimmer to excel long course than short course. But here we go, heat 4. We'll see when the camera pans out what we got. Yeah, top of the pool looks quite strong. Maybe Lily Crawford in lane 7. Or maybe very top of your pool as well. Looking strong.
Very
strong. Who knows? Pick it. It's going to be lane number 7, I think. Got your hand in? Yeah, 36.0 by 0.02 she got a touch, so important to finish at a full stroke and not that sort of half jabby stroke. So she probably could have had a bit of a longer stroke. Maybe she needs to work on adjusting that coming into the last sort of 10 metres.
Absolutely, but still a full second PB there for Lily Crawford. So yeah, she can kind of nail that finish, and like we spoke about before, the more experienced swimmers, they know whether to shorten a couple of strokes before that finish and make sure they're hitting it dead on. She can just gain that little bit of experience. I think she'll be breaking that 36-second barrier, so good swim there from Lily. But we're going to be moving on to, I think this is the first of our seeded heats, is it? Yeah, it is. So we've got Emer Doyle of Limerick taking the centre lane in heat number 5. She has our qualifying time of 32.82.
Yeah, these swimmers now, majority of these swimmers expecting to make it back for tonight. There'll be 2 finals of this tonight, I think. So you're going to have to post a time, because these girls actually are all very close in terms of time there, especially during the 30, not so much the faster ones, but sort of the ones that will be on the cusp of A or B finals, the 34s sort of swimmers. So really relaxed looking girls there behind the block, not as much slapping going on, just conserving all that energy.
Yeah, Emer Doyle looks very, very cool, calm, collected here. So again, 50 metre sprint dash, so let's see what their underwater is like.
Yeah, hold that glide. Emer Doyle held that glide really nicely. But here we go into it. Heat number 5.
She's got a real dive head position there, doesn't she? She shoots her head in between her arms on every single stroke, Emer.
She does. She comes up quite high, but just keeps that rate going. Very difficult. Like when you see Adam Peaty with that such high rate, but he holds so much water, it's just near impossible to do. I think he's literally the only person in the world that can do that. Coming into the wall here, Emer Doyle has an entry time of 32.82, so she's going to be outside that, but she'll make it back comfortably for tonight. Wee bit of a jabby finish at a 33.95. Beth Gardner, 34.51, and Karen Maher with a 34.67, but not bad, girls.
Yeah, they're definitely finishing on a half stroke there, Emer Doyle. So I think her breakout from the start of her dive, her heels nearly broke the surface there before she broke out. So I think maybe her dive just put her off slightly, and then kind of transferred over to that finish as well. So I definitely think she can be swimming faster than that 33.95. But again, she's probably secured herself a position in that final for this evening. So just needs to change it up slightly or just work on a couple of things there.
You've got eyes like a hawk, India. I didn't notice that. Okay, so moving on to heat 6. Got Niamh Coyne. Good swim from her yesterday in the women's 100 breaststroke. 68, I think she was. Well, not bad, just coming off a change of coach and things like that, so looking to get back to form, but I thought she looked really good yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see her. She'll be focusing more on the 200, I think, than this one, but just sort of good to do the 50 in between the 100 and the 200 just to kind of get that stroke, feel that stroke.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she will be focusing more on the 200 metre breaststroke this weekend. But like you said, it's kind of nice just to keep a breaststroke event in the middle of those 2 events as well. Just to, even just coming into the competition pool, kind of staying focused, staying on form, still getting a swim in, getting a cool down done, and just making sure your body is still awake kind of as you go through the weekend as well.
Absolutely, but I don't think she's going to be a match for McSharry this evening. But then Very few swimmers in the world would be. She's right down there, that Irish senior record, the 30.5. So for reference, the world record's only a 29. I think it's a 29 mid. 29.3. Benedetta Palazzo of Italy. She's young as well. She's a young, really talented Italian breaststroke sprinter. So expect McSharry to even, I think McSharry could be down near 29 this week. She's just got so much speed. It's just power off the blocks. It's just terrifying. A wee bit of a delay here. So it's kind of hard for the swimmers here. You see some of them just kind of trying to keep moving, keep ready. But here we go, heat number 6, penultimate heat. Coyne the fastest. Notice how Niamh Coyne there does her fly kick before she even pulls, so that's a slightly different way to do it. But she's out first, as we said. Just trying to have that pop to her stroke. See how she jabs her head right down with power and force. And every stroke has to have intent. You know, whip those heels together, squeeze the glutes as hard as you can on each kick. Her entry time is a 32.3. What do you think, India?
Yeah, I think she might just be hitting that. So I think it was 32.46. Yeah, so just outside it there. Good swim there from Niamh Coyne. She's got a very wide sweep, doesn't she, on her breaststroke? So her actual pull on her breaststroke is quite wide. So slightly different technique there to Mona. We've got Mona, who's kind of a little bit tighter when it comes to her stroke. Yeah, she's more power to the front. But again, strong swim from Niamh. So it looks like she's on form, 32.46, just slightly above that entry time. So we saw that yesterday as well. She looked very much on top of the water. So just kind of transferring that over to the sprint event as well. So good swim there, Niamh.
Yeah, that was good, Niamh. To be right around your best is always got to take it, especially when you're that fast. So we got McSharry now coming up. Great to see her on Irish soil. Racing obviously over in Tennessee. Training out there. Just going to see her off the block. She rarely takes even heats easy. She kind of goes for it all the time. It's great way to swim.
Yeah, you can always see that she always pumps herself up, so you can't see her on the stream here, but she's ready to go.
Yeah, seriously strong athlete. Smashing that block. She stands right up at the top before they take her marks, and then she goes down. Reacts so fast. In like a bullet. McSharry up. Look at the power she gets from her kick. Look at her legs. You can see them there. Just, if you saw an underwater shot there, you'd see the speed those legs are coming together.
Yeah, she's fields ahead of the rest here, already at the 25-meter mark. So again, like David said, she kind of goes for it in every swim that she has. So she got an entry time of 30.90. Again, that Irish senior record 30.56.
Just outside 30.64. 30.56 is her best. She'll get down there this evening.
Definitely similar enough to her 100 breaststroke swim. She was just outside it for the heat swim, but kind of gives her that confidence that she is on form. So she's only less than 0.2 off that Irish senior record.
She definitely builds the 50, doesn't she? Like, she's sort of like, at the start, her stroke's kind of a bit longer, and then she sort of picks it up as she goes.
Yeah, it's like it takes her about 4 or 5 strokes to really get into that rhythm. So, but yeah, I think she knows that herself. So, you know, this evening, yeah, I think we're going to be looking at
maybe just limit that to maybe 1 or 2 strokes and then get right at it. Maybe that would help. But then, hey, what do I know? She knows more than me about breaststroke. That concludes our women's 50-meter breaststroke. McSharry will be the fastest qualifier for that, and a 30.64, just off that Irish senior record. Coyne will be in second, and Cook will be in third. So that'll be a good race tonight. Seeing what McSharry can do. It'll be McSharry against the clock, won't it, India?
Yeah, I think McSharry knows herself that she's going to be kind of dominating that field and she'll be out on her own. But she doesn't really focus, I don't think, on the competition around her. I think she's mainly focused on kind of that time, and she's going to be racing the clock. So she knows that the Irish senior record is in sight. So I wouldn't be surprised if she smashes another Irish senior record this evening. Yeah,
I was interviewing her last night, and she was saying coming off the short course yard season straight into long course is a wee bit weird. But sometimes it's better because you haven't been focusing on long course at all, really. Because the short course yards season ends in usually March time, mid-March time. So she said because she hasn't really thought about long course, she's sort of coming in without any expectations. You know, sometimes that's better. It's almost you trick the brain into relaxing itself. So I mean, it's worked for her.
Yeah, and absolutely, like we said it before her race there, she's such a powerful athlete as well. Like obviously the turns will be good for her, but she's also able to maintain that power in a long course season as well. So, you know, I'm sure transferring that speed from short course yards to long course isn't too much of a difficulty for her. But we're major change of event again. So we've gone from a splash and dash, we're back to some more endurance events. We've got the men's 800 metre freestyle. So Irish senior record holder is Daniel Whiffen in this event, setting it last year in 2022, June of last year. So we haven't actually got Daniel swimming this 800 freestyle in this Irish Open Championships, but we do have his brother Nathan being the second fastest qualifier going in that final heat this evening. That won't be swum this morning. We only have 3 heats of this morning's swim. So looking forward to seeing Nathan swim as well, David.
Yes, seeing Nathan tonight. Nathan's swimming really well recently. You know, sort of goes under the radar a bit because, of course, Daniel's so fantastic. But Nathan's a world-class swimmer in his own right. You know, he 400 free was fantastic. He's got a great 200 back in him, a great 800 free as well. So, you know, real good genes there.
It's a real family affair here at the Irish Open Championships when the Whiffen brothers come as well. You've got Daniel Whiffen, you've got Nathan Whiffen, and then you've got their brother Ben Whiffen as well. I think he does a lot of their strength and conditioning work with them too.
Yeah,
so
he coaches Enniskillen, I think, maybe.
Yeah, so he's poolside as well, chatting to the 2 boys.
There's always a Whiffen presence everywhere you go, even online. You can't escape them. But they're fantastic for not only Irish swimming, but for swimming in general. Create that positive energy all the time, you know. Really, really great to see. But this is the first of our 3 seeded heats this morning. Men's 800 free. Bit of a weird one. A lot shorter, obviously, than the 1500. Just over half the distance.
All right, so just running down through the names of Heat 1 of this men's 800 metre freestyle. We only have 6 swimmers in this heat. So we've got Tom O'Rourke of Athlone in lane number 2, Dylan Brady of Drogheda in lane 3. We've got Aina Garvey of Mallow Swans in lane number 4. Again, Liam O'Connor of Kingdom in 5, Luke Merrigan of Dolphin in lane number 6, and Dylan Lunny of Leander in lane number 7. So similar enough to yesterday, David, we have those counters down the end of the pool there. So this is, again, to just explain if you were listening to the live stream yesterday, 800 metres free, so we've got 16 lengths of the pool. So instead of these swimmers having to officially count them all themselves, they can use those counters at the end of the pool to just have a quick look and just see where they are within that race. But it's going to be that last 100 where they get that saviour bell, isn't it? That's what they're going to be listening
to. Saviour bell.
Saviour bell.
It can't save them, unfortunately. They have to do the last 100, but the saviour bell, I love that, the saviour bell. Yeah, so it's a tough event, you know. It's not an event I did that much. It wasn't really as popular when I was growing up, some of these events. The men just usually did the 1500 and the women more did the 800. But now you get a mix. Definitely doing it since it was added to the Olympic program. But yeah, it's very similar to yesterday in the 1500. You just got to set up your rhythm after that first 100 and then just hold it and then try and switch at the end to a more faster kind of pace, bringing the legs. But
It's great now that we do have, you know, a 1500 metre for female and an 800 metre for men, because I think you and I were chatting about it yesterday. Like, we actually think that Daniel Whiffen, even though he's a great endurance swimmer, we actually think he's probably better over that 800 metres because he does have a little bit of power behind him. So, you know, that 800 metre I think suits him a lot better than the 1500 metres.
I think it does, yeah. I mean, he qualified for Tokyo, didn't he, in that? And then, you know, it obviously wasn't a Commonwealth, I don't think. Did he swim the 800 at Commonwealth? I'm not too sure he did. And then I think the 800 is where his best is at. I think, it's a perfect distance for him. You know, the 15 maybe a wee bit long, but it's hard to know. With Daniel Whiffen, he'll probably break the world record in all 3, who knows?
Knowing Daniel, yeah, most likely that'll be his
next
target, exactly. So again, just moving into the first 200 of this first heat of the 800. So these lads will be settling into their pace. So we've got our first turn here, 2:17.88. So all the lads there kind of sticking around the 36-second mark. So they're probably going to want to maintain that now. Again, they still have 600 metres to go, so it is about settling into that rhythm. They all have a similar enough breathing pattern here as well. So breathing kind of 1 and 2, looking at their competition around them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after this one, we have the women's 50 fly. We've got Danielle Hill in that one, Jenna McDougall, the UCD swimmer, Cora Rooney. So they got to hang about for a bit. And then I think, but I'm not too sure, there's a few time trials as well going on after that. I think I had no idea what event, but I think maybe 100 breast, maybe. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But we'll see. We'll hang about for those.
Yeah, David, you're the fountain of knowledge here when it comes to
The fountain of class knowledge.
so
I know something and then go, actually, wait, no, I don't know that.
I will just accept what you have to say most of the time, David.
I think there is. I can see maybe Dara down there. You're looking for 100 breast time trial for at World Championships. 0.01 outside it, wasn't he, the other day? So.
Okay, very good. So have Dara swimming again. So maybe that's why he's taken off the 50 free. But again.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So again, turning at the 300 meter mark, let's have a quick look at those splits. So again, kind of stick around that 36-second mark for their 50. So they're doing well here. Again, we've got Liam O'Connor, that our first swimmer here, training first. He's in lane number 5.
Yeah, very tight battle here. You don't usually maybe get that as much. Actually, no, that's wrong. You would get that. Don't know what I'm talking about. You get swimmers that'll bunch up and then sort of one will begin to go at maybe whenever, maybe a 200 out, 150 out, but one will try and break the field. We were talking about that yesterday. It happened in the 1500 heat, didn't it, India? Which I can't remember what swimmer it was. She was just sitting on the hip of the other swimmer, and then the last 50 she flew past.
She flew up past, yeah. So we had that great shot of that Trojan swimmer. I think her name was Clara at the end. Remember, she was so surprised by her time after the 1500. So it's a great shot there yesterday. And we also had Grace Hodgins there in the final heat of the 1500. So I think she was looking for that 1650 mark. She was slightly outside, but she had a strong swim there yesterday in the 1500 too.
She did, yeah. They all did that. I was in the Euro commentating last night in that 1500 final for women. I was doing the live interviews with the winners, and when I interviewed Grace, I said earlier she was so chilled before it or after it, she was hardly breathing at all. So I missed a lot of that race. So did she just lead from the start? Did she?
So yeah, it was probably pretty much from the first 300 meters. She took it out strong, and we kind of saw that that spearhead formation really starting to form from Grace. But by the end, she had lapped majority of the field. So finishing in strong. I think I don't actually remember. I didn't listen to the interview. Was she happy with her race there at the end of the race?
No, she was slightly disappointed. I think she was 17:01, and the time she was looking for was a 16:50 for whether it was Worlds, I think maybe, or
it's the European Juniors.
Was European Juniors?
European Juniors.
I think she got the European on 23 time in the 400, just or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she was happy enough. But she said she hadn't swum it in a while, so she was hoping for a bit faster. But I mean, for someone who said they swam badly, she smiled the whole time. So
exactly, and she's still only a young swimmer as well. So she's got plenty of swimming ahead of her as well. So she still has that summer international as well.
I think it's her one. The 8.
Yeah.
The 800 is her main one. So it's
absolutely.
Coming up. Probably tomorrow it'll be, won't it?
So again, just return to the pool here, guys. So like David said, we've kind of got they'll be able to swim one on top of the other, so it's not we haven't really got a spearhead formation here in this event. But let's just have a quick look at their splits. I think they're at the 500 meter mark here. Yeah, and again, still kind of sticking around that 36. So these swimmers definitely, they've been practicing this in the pool though, haven't they? So they probably do a lot of pace work, so they know exactly what pace they're going to pretty much be hitting. They're like a metronome, aren't they, when they're kind of swimming this 800?
100%. You look at their leg. You know the difference in leg kick. You've got lane number 5, which is Liam O'Connor. And look at the swimmer right below him in lane number 4, which is Ina Garvey. He's got much more bigger leg kick. You see that?
Yeah, we had that with the 2 Aer Lingus swimmers yesterday in the third heat of the 1500, the female 1500. One of the swimmers, each kind of using that leg kick more for balance. The other one was actually getting a good bit of drive from her leg kick. So it is interesting to see how each of these swimmers kind of take it out.
I don't really think it's necessary to kick as hard as Garvey's doing there. I think, you look at the swimmer, you want to focus more on that efficiency of the arms. So if you look at O'Connor at the top of your screen there, the leader, he's kind of he's taking a lot less strokes. He's kicking his legs less, so he's taking less strokes and kicking his legs less. So he's conserving more energy and going faster. So that's all, swimming's all about that. Have to make the stroke as efficient as possible. And in these events, it's all about conserving energy. The whole race, being able to swim the most efficient, the fastest way with the least amount of effort. Every event's like that, but it's really exaggerated in these events. So you should see O'Connor pick up his legs then. So we're coming in now to the sort of last 150 metres. You should see him after the saviour bell, as India calls it. Really, really go to his legs, because he has been kind of saving them. But it's very impressive though to kick your legs with that kind of 4-beat kick that Garvey's doing.
Yeah, because we kind of spoke about yesterday in the 1500. You probably really only see that final kick down in the last 50 meters. And we spoke about Sun Yang, obviously. That last 50 meters is pretty much looking like a sprint, but we know that anti-doping was involved in there. But when it comes
Not
to
anti-doping.
not
Doping was
anti-doping,
involved.
doping was involved in there. Wrong phrase. But when it comes to the 800, do you think because it's a shorter event they should be kicking down a little bit sooner?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's I mean, it's hard to know because every swimmer's different, you know, and they'll all be fit. They'll all have strong back ends, but some will have obviously stronger back ends than front ends. Some will be more naturally twitchy. You'll get some that'll be coming up from the 4, and a lot more that'll be coming down from the 15. So we'll see here. 3 on 8:22.4. So let me see what he's in on. He's in on a 9:40. So yeah, definitely PB here. But he should begin to go to his legs.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to pick up that stroke right now. So they've all, well, majority of the field now hearing their saviour bell, bringing them into the last 100 metres. But it does look like Liam O'Connor is going to take the touch on this first heat of the 800 metre free. So let's see how fast he's actually picked up this pace. So again, he was kind of clocking those 36 lows throughout this entire race. So we've seen that stroke rate definitely pick up. So we'll have a quick look at his pace now coming into the final 50. And yeah, he's brought it down to a 35.5. So I think he will be going faster than that 9:40 that he has clocked in here.
Yeah, he needs to pick up his legs a wee bit. That'll be the change for the end. But as well, in second place there, bit of a more loping kind of stroke in lane number 2. It's Tom O'Rourke of Athlone. Johnny Powell, his coach. So coming through here, he was going to PB, isn't he? Quite comfortably.
Yeah, you'd always want to see these lads PB, especially after an 800. It's such a grueling event, but he does, and it's a 9:32.60. So very good swim there from Liam O'Connor. So 8 seconds off that 800 free, which is really strong. So that's a full second off pretty much each 100. So he's definitely been working on his pacing there.
Yeah, good swim from all 3 lads there, all PBs. You know, Ian Garvey, very good as well. Had that slightly bigger leg kick. Like I said, really hard to continue that 4-beat leg kick the whole time. That's very impressive. He can do that. Finishing up then.
Yeah, 9:35 there from the Athlone swimmer, so 9:46 was his entry time. So we know that Johnny Powell's a good endurance coach there as well, back down in Athlone. He had the likes of Brendan Gibbons kind of coming through.
Yes, Brendan Gibbons, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the father of Robbie Powell, the great freestyler. So the heat 2 coming up now. We've only got the 3 heats of this morning. Of the men's 800 freestyle. This looks like a pretty full heat, isn't it? Yeah, they've all turned up.
That's exactly what you want in an 800. You want to have someone sitting beside you.
Yeah.
Unless I know we kind of spoke about swimming your own race, but if you do
an 800, it'd be brutal, wouldn't it, on your own?
Absolutely. So if you know that someone beside you is kind of swimming similar enough pace or slightly faster, you know, it's nice to have them beside you to kind of drag you along as well.
It'd be interesting to have that tactical battle, wouldn't it, with someone next to you? Like me and you were sprinters, so we didn't really have that. It was just go. But like having that battle of somebody thinking, oh, what are they thinking? Are they going to go in the 50? Are they going to chill? Are they going to go? You know, it must be. It's a real different kind of race, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you can kind of take it in 2 ways, I guess, probably these endurance events where you can either take it out in your own tactics because, again, like we said before, you never know how someone else is going to swim. You can't control someone else's swim. They could actually be in flying form. They could take it off from the start. And if you're going to try and hold with them from the start, you might actually like mess up your pacing if you're kind of not at that level. But also you might be pulling yourself back a little bit as well. You know, they might not be on form if you're looking at someone beside you and then you're holding yourself back on your pace. So it kind of just like it's a risky strategy sometimes, focusing on the person beside you, not focusing on your own race. But also when it comes to these longer events, sometimes it is nice when you have someone in that lane beside you that you can just swim off them a little bit as well. So conserve a little bit of energy.
Doesn't it? I think some athletes like it.
Yeah.
Swimming off other people, they like knowing there's someone there, and some athletes, you know, don't. I know for me, sometimes I used to focus on what everybody else was doing too much.
Yeah.
You know, I saw him in an event that was very competitive. You know, and you had the likes of Jordan Sloan, Shane Ryan, Jack McMillan, Curtis Coulter, Robbie Powell, Jerry. I mean, they were all good. McCusker. You know, so you were always against someone good. You were never let off. So it was always like you always had an idea. But I think when I saw my best, it was always when I was just focused on myself. But like I think for some other swimmers, like the likes of Jack McMillan, who's now transferred to the GB, he used to swim off Jordan Sloan all the time. He used to, and when really sort of used to annoy our coach Paul Dennis when Jordan wasn't there, because Jordan would naturally take it out faster. Jack would know the pacing of Jordan, and when Jordan wasn't there and Jack was on his own, Jack never swam as well. You know, so it's sort of, you got to learn to also swim your own race as well as just swimming off other people. But everyone's kind of different.
Absolutely, and we kind of spoke about, I guess, those pre-race routines, and you and I spoke yesterday about, I guess, like pre-race jitters and how sometimes you can put a little bit more pressure on yourself. So how did you used to settle into your race before you went to race? If you were kind of focusing on other people and how they swam, how did you used to settle yourself down?
I had to, because I was quite a hyped up guy anyway before a race. Sprinters generally are, aren't they? They would be a lot like, sort of ready for it, really hyped up. So I had to relax a lot. So the way I did that was really simple. I used to just listen to Oasis, the band Oasis.
Very good.
Like just relax me for whatever reason. Just relax me. I didn't need that. Curtis Coulter's the opposite. He used to listen to. He's the current Orange coach. You see him down there on the green. He used to listen to like hard style, like dance music. I could hear his headphones in the call room, so he had to get hyped up, whereas I was the opposite. I had to be chilled out. But we got pretty much the same result. But I just had to be as calm as possible. No slapping myself, no nothing. Just really, really, really relaxed. And I usually, whether or not I swam well or bad, at least I knew after. I'd be like, oh well, I've done what I needed to do beforehand. So that's all I had. What about you? Were you more?
So I'd be similar to you. Like I used to listen to a little bit like more classical music, so Hans Zimmer, so like all those kind of like movie themes and stuff like that. Yeah, those are kind of my favorite, pre-race music and stuff. But yeah, I guess like I would be similar enough. There was definitely a year within my swimming career where I probably put a little bit too much pressure on myself, so I had to focus a good bit then on kind of like techniques to try and calm myself down and stuff. But again, it just depends on, I guess, the race that you're going for. Like, you know yourself, you can go into like these regional meets as well, and when you know that there's no pressure on you, you could actually swim faster at a regional meet than compared to an Irish Open. So
always.
But it is knowing how to calm yourself down in those kind of situations as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Hans Zimmer, that's a good one. I remember seeing Callum Bain, he was listening to Pirates of the Caribbean, like music.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, Callum, that is so hilarious, fantastic. But some of those movie soundtracks are good because they kind of like hype you up, They
really good. You have to like the Gladiator and you have to like...
Yeah. So do you know what I think it does? It takes you to a place where like you're calm because you close your eyes and think of a theme music for a movie, whether it's whatever, Star Wars, whatever. It takes you to a place of watching that movie and probably calms you down because it's familiar.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you have Gladiator, you have Batman, you have everything when it comes to Hans Zimmer. So no, but that was just the only way that calm myself down. Yeah, no, it was a good way to calm myself down, to be honest. But then I think I spoke about it yesterday. Like you kind of have different days. So some days you really just need to calm down, but then other days I'd be in the call room with someone. Like obviously make like really good mates when you're coming through swimming as well. Like you spend more time with the people that you swim with than you probably do your family, to be honest. So like being in the call room with like mates and stuff like that and just having a bit of a laugh, that's also a good way to calm down as well.
Yeah, definitely. But back to the pool there, a bit of insight, folks. Listen to movie soundtracks before your race. Gladiator especially. God, I'd be so hyped up if I listened to Gladiator. Too hyped up. World record would have been in jeopardy. Anyway, back to the pool. We got in the lead comfortably. Lane number 7, Dara Rusk of Athlone. India said, Johnny Powell, that good experience coaching distance swimmers. He's got really nice distance off the walls, hasn't he? Really
he does actually. Yeah, he's very
fantastic.
Strong. He has been quite consistent with these paces as well, so he kind of took it out around 34s. He's kind of sticking around 35 mids now, so yeah, I'm sure Johnny Powell has been working strong with them, so definitely a clear leader here. So I think he's about 300 metres to go on this next turn, so let's see how his pace goes from there.
Yeah, he sort of separated himself from the rest of the field quite early on. He hasn't really looked back. He got a mini battle in the middle going on, but we're up to the last sort of 300 metres now. He turns in a 5:44.3, so he's splitting 35s. So's the rest of the field. They're all, look at the splits there, folks. 33.5, 33.3, all 35s. So what generally happens is a swimmer like what Rusk has done, he's sort of broken the field the first sort of 100, 200 metres, and now he's actually just swimming the same pace as them. Okay, so, he's actually not swimming the race that much faster. He just swam it faster at the start, and that happens a lot. It really does. So it'll be interesting to see the back end on how some of these swimmers react to kind of, look at that distance he gets off the walls. It's fantastic. And you see how he's not really doing underwater kicks, he's just using that one strong push off, maybe one fly kicking up, so he's conserving that energy.
Absolutely. He's staying strong with his pace here as well. So in the previous heat we had Liam O'Connor and he clocked a time of 9:32.60 while he was maintaining kind of 36 mids, I guess, for his 50s and throughout the 800. But we've got Dara Rusk now. So again, his entry time is slightly slower than what Liam O'Connor did. So it's 9:33.75, but he's actually clocking 35s consistently now for these 50s here. So he's definitely on for a PB as long as he can kind of maintain this pace. So he's turning into his last 200 metres. Again, we spoke about it before, David. It's on an 800. They don't really need to wait for that last 100 metres start kicking down. We really should start to see that stroke rate start to pick up here from Dara.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's coming in out of the last 150. It's just, it's really individual. That's what's so great. You know, I know to the regular person watching swimming, they're just going, oh, well, they're just swimming up and down and the winner wins. But there's so much more to it. The different tactical battles, the different sort of technical things people can do, swimmers can do. Like myself in India, who've been around swimming our whole life, you know, we notice all those wee things that other people wouldn't. You know, it makes it really, really interesting. You know, and all these sort of coaches and athletes will all be looking at working on different things and trying to maybe try out new things. You know, like who was I talking to yesterday? Can't remember. I talked to so many people, but they were saying that they entered a swimmer. Oh yeah, sorry, it was Stan Shepherd was talking about the Lisburn coach was talking about Dylan Regis, that young fly swimmer. And he said Dylan just loves to try new crazy things in races. Like he'll just go, I'm gonna, you know, try and negative split this race, or I'm gonna try and go max for this, or I'm going to try this technique or this dive. And Stan says he just lets him do it, let him work it out, let him play about with it. He's so young, just let him have fun with it, which is a really nice way to be, I think. You know, and but to us watching, he's just swimming, but there's so much going on. So it's really, really interesting to see. So, like you see now, like we've said, the middle swimmers have taken the lead now.
So yeah, he's really starting to hammer down. I think it is O'Driscoll, yeah, from Sunday as well. He's really started to kick down, so he's already gained about 2 body lengths there on Dara Rusk just within the last 100. So they've all pretty much heard that bell as well. So lane number 4 is going to turn strong here. And yeah, his pace is much faster, so 34.04. Really, really strong here.
Yeah, he's on a really perfect race. He's just trying to keep that stroke nice and long, but keep those legs going. Now, he's the only swimmer who's really hard going to his legs. The swimmer below him's kind of going to his legs, but Rusk is kind of just falling off now. But he's hanging in strong. He's swimming his own race, but it is going to be O'Driscoll of Sunday as well. Great culture down there in that club. Rich Cassidy, the coach there, fantastic coach. But it is going to be lovely, lovely swim from him. Nothing came up. O'Driscoll, no, it has. O'Driscoll. 9:15 there. He came up second on the thing, but he's faster obviously. 9:15. What's that, India?
9:15. So yeah, it's a 14-second PB there for Michael O'Driscoll. So really strong for the Sunday as well, swimmer.
Yeah, good swimming, folks. That was interesting. The different, like me and India were saying there, different tactics. One was out faster, the others sort of chilled, and then came home strong. So.
Absolutely. So we're just getting our final few swimmers now coming into the wall. So lane number 5 just finishing in there strong. All right, final swimmer just finishing in there, lane number 1. So we are moving on to our third and final heat of this morning's swims in the men's 800 metre freestyle. So again, we do have 4 heats of this event, but we're going to leave our heat declared winner, that final heat this evening, where we'll have Liam Custer, our fastest qualifier, Sunday as well. He's only 19 years of age. He's got an 8:06.17, so strong swim there. Our Irish senior record is held by Daniel Whiffen. That is a 7:46.52. I definitely don't think that Irish record is going to be in any sort of jeopardy from this evening. But we do have Daniel's twin brother swimming in that final heat as well. We've got Nathan Whiffen, the 22-year-old from Lawrence. So he has a time of 8:16.38. He's having a good session as well, or a good programme so far. So we saw him in the 400 metre freestyle on that first day, and he did already clock a PB. So we'll be looking for a PB from Nathan as well on this evening's swim. But again, that is heat number 4, which will be swum in the final session this evening. We're on to heat number 3 now. Oh, bit of a previous dive there, I think, from one of the swimmers, but we're going straight into our 800. So heat number 3, just quickly running down through the names. So we've got Mark Gill of Trojan, the 16-year-old. He takes lane number 0. We've got Daniel Harvey of Ards. He takes lane number 1. We've got Cian Foley of New Ross. He's taking lane number 2. Paddy Cudahy of Kilkenny is in lane number 3. We've got Patrick Ferry of Lisburn City in lane number 4. Dara Horgan of Limerick in 5. We've got Sergei Riznishenko from Splash World in lane 6. Tristan Egan of Aer Lingus in lane 7. His teammates swim beside him, the 15-year-old Daniel Egan, also of Aer Lingus. I think there must be brothers there in lane number 8. And we've got Eamon Smith of Longford in lane number 9. Oh, we have an empty lane actually, so one of those Egan brothers.
Oh, I'm disappointed about that.
Oh, hang on, no, it's lane number 1 that's empty. So we have the Egan brothers beside one another. It's Daniel Harvey that we have missing here in this 800. So be nice to see the two brothers race.
Two brothers battling it out. Okay, nice. We'll see who breaks away here. Not really anybody at the minute. Usually by 200-300. There'll be somebody will have sort of taken the reins.
So we do have our fastest qualifier. That is Patrick Ferry. He's in lane number 4. He is actually, it's quite a close heat, I guess, because we have seen that we've had quite a few significant PBs in the 800. So he is our fastest qualifier, 9:10.62, but 9:11 beside him, 9:13 either side. So a couple of seconds in an 800. It's not really that much of a difference, is it?
No, it's nothing. It's really nothing. It's like 0.1, 0.250 or something like that. So yeah, we're all kind of tight. But it is there. There's always somebody else break, and it is Ferry, as India said. Our fastest qualifier, just sort of a nice long sort of stroke, keeping everything controlled. These guys will have done really a lot of sort of different distance sets, whether it's 400 repeats, 200 repeats, a lot of 100 repeats at pace off short rest usually. It could be a set something like 20 or 30 100s off maybe like a 130 or a 125 even sometimes, and just hitting your 800 pace. Just hit it every time, bang, bang, bang. So
very different to kind of the sprinting training that we used to do, but it is interesting how different swimmers enjoy different styles of training. Like I remember swimming kind of in UCD, and you'd have some distance swimmers as well, and if you gave them a sprint set, they would absolutely hate training. But if you gave them 30 100s on, say, 120, they'd love training. And I guess it is kind of down to that. You were talking about reduced earlier, and it is also about kind of enjoying your sport as well. Swimming is grueling. Yeah. It's, over 20 hours of training in a week. And if you're not enjoying your training, then, it's difficult enough to keep up as well, isn't it, David?
Oh, it is. It's swim training's really, really tough. It's very unique. And I was talking to the National Performance Director, John Rudd, yesterday about this. It's crazy. When we were just watching the finals, and you train for what? Let's break it down to a cycle. Could be 12, 16 weeks maybe. Mm-hmm. All for a minute of work. And if you go further for a season, all for a minute of work. And then if you look at it in terms of some of our better swimmers that are swimming in Olympic cycles, their main aim is the Olympics. They would sacrifice not winning anything and doing something at the Olympics. It's every 4 years for like a minute of work. It's so crazy that athletics would be similar and other sports, but sports like swimming where Olympics is the main focus, or such a short space of time. It's a race like this. It's not like in football or rugby. You make a bad pass, you can kind of just make it up. If you get one shot at it, and if you don't do well, sorry, come back next year or every 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's so tough. So you got to admire all these swimmers coming training every day doing this. Parents taking them to training, because it's not the most sort of attractive of sports, from the outside. It's not as fun maybe as others, but it's my favorite sport, definitely. It's just so unique, and there's so many different ways to do things, and yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like you said before, it's not the most attractive of sports, especially when it comes to like training times and that kind of thing. Like very, very early mornings, you've got long days of training and stuff like that. But like you must like actually have kind of that love for your sport as well.
There's a real, isn't there? Like India, like when you do a morning, like all these swimmers will train in the morning at 5:30 or 6 a.m. or some of them even 5 a.m. There's a real like nice feeling, isn't there, when you like go to school and you've swam like 6,000 meters, 5,000, 7,000 meters, and everybody's just all groggy in school, not woken up, and you're like I've trained for 2 hours.
Absolutely, yeah. It's probably actually improving their performance in school as well. The fact that they have gotten up and they've I don't know, there's days that they're tired and like you're like mentally fatigued and that kind of thing, especially from your training and stuff. But to actually be able to get up and do your training before your school day and then go and have to perform at school is probably good for these swimmers as well. But it also teaches them a lot of life skills as well, like time management, also like good communication. You have to be able to communicate with your coach, with your parents about all these kind of things that are happening with it, swimming and stuff like that as well. So the kind of life skills that you pick up from quite a young age when you're a competitive swimmer, they're very valuable for all these swimmers as well.
Oh, definitely. The way I view it is like swim training is grueling, and back in the day I did some really grueling sets, and you talk to any swimmer who's retired, they'll say, well, nothing in life is as hard as swim training.
Absolutely.
So you take everything in your stride after it. So it's really good. All these young swimmers just continuing to swim up and even into their teens and early 20s, mid 20s. Because it really does teach you that as you look back.
Absolutely, and it's like we said before, it's a very individual sport, swimming as well. So like you kind of concentrate on your own swimming, but it's also very much a team sport as well. So like you work as a team in your club and stuff like that. And I did an interview there with hersport.ie back in about a month ago, and one of the statistics that came out was that 96% of managerial positions are actually held by people that went through elite sport themselves. So
really?
Being able to work in a team as well was that's very much stands for me from a young age, and you can transfer that into your career once your swimming career is actually over.
That's crazy.
Well.
That's a crazy stat, isn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
It's very interesting. So
it's not only going to benefit your swimming now, but it'll benefit you for your whole life. But back to the pool. Coming up to 250 meters left. It is Horgan. Hasn't really been able to break the other, Rizinchenko, Ferry and Egan. They're all just kind of hanging tough. And then even below the Lisburn swimmer there in lane number 3, the Kilkenny swimmer, Paddy Cudahy. He's kind of hanging tough. This is quite an interesting heat. See Andrew Bree, our announcer there, walking at the poolside.
Yeah,
Double Olympian.
Moving into this final 200 metres here of this 800. So again, David and I have spoken about this before. This is where they're going to probably start to see a speed change. We definitely saw a change in leader in the last heat when it came to that last 200 metres, but the pace has definitely started to pick up a little bit. They were kind of sticking around the 34 marks. They're around 35 now, so we're going to either see a kick down from our leader that we have in front now, or we might see a change in position on the field.
Yeah, he's trying to break the field as best he can. Sometimes you want to almost go and sort of push it on and sort of dare the other swimmers to go, do you have what it takes to catch me up here? Do you have more in the tank? So, real battle of wits. We'll come on to the last 150 metres before they save your bell. Must be such a nice sound at the end of these events. So,
absolutely, and that pace is coming back down again. So those lads are holding around 35 high there coming into the last 600 metres, but we're back down to those 34s. So, but we do have a very high stroke rate increase now from lane number 3, I think it is. Yeah, lane number 3 is really starting to pick up the pace here. That's Paddy Cudahy, the 15-year-old from Kilkenny. I think he might really trying to be battled out here with lane number 5. That's Dara Horgan. So it's going to be a race between these two lads coming into the last 100 metres.
And Horgan will be breathing away from him on this last 50. This penultimate 50. But Cudahy will be breathing towards him. So Cudahy's going to have the advantage on this 50, but on the last 50, Horgan's going to have the advantage, but Horgan needs to be careful because Cudahy could just take off, and now on the next 50, Horgan's going to be like, oh, I thought I was in the lead, and now I'm not, so he needs to try and react. But also now, Cudahy will just be turning for home because he'll not be, I have no idea what Horgan's going to do. So watch now. Oh, he's switched breathing. He can breathe to both sides. That's really unique to be able to do that. Yeah,
he knows exactly what he's doing here, but I think he's left too much work for himself to do now, Dara. So I think it's Paddy Cudahy that might just take this event, especially seeing as he is breathing to his competitor. He knows that he just needs to stay in front for this last 12.5 metres. Yeah, he's looking strong coming in here. So again, his entry time, we've got Paddy Cudahy of a 9:13. So I think he's going to be breaking that significantly as well.
Rizinchenko coming home like a freight train as well. Yeah, 9:07.47, good PB for him. Horgan led most of the way, tried to break the field at about 5:50 mark and did for a wee bit, but Cudahy swam his own race and he knew he was going to come home fast. Great swim from him.
Yeah, exactly. It was really good swim there from Paddy Cudahy. So he knew exactly what he was doing on that last 200 metres. He needed to pick up the pace. But like you said, David, it's quite unique that we see people that can breathe to both sides. So, a lot of the time you have an advantage to one side to watch your competitors, but he had the advantage of watching his competitors on both sides. So, yeah, really strong swim there from Paddy.
Yeah, you really never see that. That's a real good skill to be able to do.
So that is, I think we have all our swimmers in. We do. So that is the final heat this morning of our 800 metre free. We'll have our fastest heat this evening. And that's when we will see Nathan Whiffen and Liam Custer in those two middle lanes. But we're moving on to another splash and dash event. We've got the women's 50 metre butterfly. And we've got Danielle Hill. We've got Alana Burns-Atkins. We've got Jenna McDougall. We've got some fast swimmers here, don't we, David?
yes, lots of fast swimmers having to sort of hang about here just from this 50 fly. So
we haven't got Ellen Walsh competing in this 50 fly, but I know
No.
she's got a busy schedule this weekend.
yeah, she
so
must be doing the. Yeah, I think she'll do the 4 medley final tonight probably. I don't think she'll pull out of that. I hope she doesn't anyway. Wish I was commentating on those events tonight, but here we go. We've got 7 heats. Irish senior record holder is McSharry. She's opted to not swim this one. 26.62. Jenna McDougall, who's doing it. She's in the penultimate heat. The UCD girl. She's the Irish junior record holder. But the meet record is Danielle Hill from last year, 26.84. Just off the Irish senior record. Danielle could be flirting with that Irish senior record.
it does say here in heat number 7 that she's got the entry time of the Irish senior record. It says she has 26.62 as her entry time
wow.
there. So be interesting to see how she swims in that 7th heat. But we've got a few heats before. We've got Shiva Brady and we've got Nicole Turner coming up in the first heat as well.
Yeah, I think there's a slight. No, we're good. We're just testing the starting system there, but 50 meters butterfly. So had the male 50 fly last night. McCusker took it comfortably. No Callum Bain or Shane Ryan in that one, so he just sort of took storm. But heat 1 of 7. And they're off, nice and smooth. No false starts, good to see. Ellen Keane, Nicole Turner, 2 fantastic Paralympic athletes.
Nicole as well, looking for, I think it's a 40 flat for her minimum qualification standard here for her summer international. So she's already set a faster time there of 37.00 this year. So again, and she's also got an entry time here of 38.22. So I'll be looking for her to swim a little bit faster than that.
Yeah, come up there for Keane. It did 32.69. Yeah. Inside her entry time.
Yeah, pretty much equaling her entry time there, Nicole Turner. So she came in at 38.22 and just going 38.23. So good swim from her there. But again, Lara Stone taking that first heat in a 31.55.
Yeah, heat 1 of 7. That's good going for the girls. Coming on now to heat number 2. Very different event, obviously, to the 800 freestyle. Getting on now to the back end of the session. 11:30 this morning. So we started here at 9:30. So 2 hours of great swimming. And I think we have some time trials as well after this. So okay, I don't think we. Okay, no problem. I'll come back to you. Okay, here we go. 50 fly.
Yeah, so moving on to the second heat, our fastest qualifier, we've got Quiva of Swilly Seals. So she's 14. She has an entry time of 32.26, but pretty much only half a second separating the entire field here. So it is really going to be a touch of the hand here at the end of this 50.
Yeah, tightly bunched up. It's who can sort of hold their stroke the last 15. Not panic, not spin. Just keep it nice and steady. But here we go. Number 6. Looks like Mia Mulhall on the Banbridge is going to get the touch. She needs to get her hand on the wall though. Yeah, 31.53 just inside Holly Wilson's 31.57. Was good swimming there.
Yeah, pretty much a full second PB there for lane number 6, the Banbridge swimmer. So I'm sure she'll take that on a 50 metres.
Yeah, absolutely. On a 50, that's a big drop. Banbridge swimmers having a decent meet. So we'll probably not be seeing any of these swimmers in the A and B finals tonight, but you know, they'll sort of be looking, some of these young girls, you know, the 14, 15-year-olds will be looking for next year maybe to be getting in there. Heat number 3, 50 fly.
So again, moving on to heat number 3, again our fastest qualifier, we've got our Titan swimmer. She has entered in a 31.16. Again, we've got all these swimmers pretty much trying to go a personal best or equal their personal best if they're looking for a final swim this evening, but it's only 0.5 separating the field, so as long as they can hammer down. So good stroke rates from all these girls. They're coming into the final 10 metres. They're really going to want to start to put their heads down and finish in strong into the wall, making sure they're finishing on that full stroke. But it looks like lane number 4
perfect finish.
Is 31.26, so good finish there from Jordan of Titans.
Yeah, lovely from Winterback. 31.26, excuse me. Good swimming there. Heat number 3, flying through the heats now. Before we get to see, I think we'll see there's going to be a big drop in time in the next few heats coming up. So heat number 4 coming up. A lot of these swimmers now, you know, will have swam at least once. A lot of them maybe 2 or 3 times they'll have raced, so they'll be right into the meat, in the thick of it now. You know, so managing sort of not only expectations, but also managing your body through good hydration, good nutrition, sleep, stretching. So much goes on outside just this racing that you don't see. And that's really, really important, especially day 4 and 5 when the body's tired and sort of beginning to have enough that you've done all that recovery work. But here we go, heat number 4.
Yeah, so heat number 4, we have our fastest qualifier, Amy Fitzpatrick, 22-year-old, entering at a 30.43. I think she might have just stayed under a little bit too long. Oh no, that was her competitor in lane number 5. I think she just stayed under a little bit too long on that underwater, but lane number 4 taking it out strong. She might just take the touch on this, but also lane number 8 looking strong as well.
Yeah, a bit of a long finish, but she did well. Ledan, 30.1, just missing that sub 30 point. So
I think it was just a finish there. Probably would have brought it down below.
Yeah, a bit long.
Yeah.
But not bad at all. PB.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, looking strong from all these girls. We're moving on to our 5th heat. So this is the first of our seeded heats. We've got our fastest qualifier. It's Cora Rooney. She was very strong in her short course season as well. She's the 18-year-old from Enniskillen. She has an entry time of 28.08 here. So again, she want to clock maybe just below that 28 seconds if she wants to get a good position going into this A final this evening.
Yeah, all of these middle swimmers will be expecting to get back tonight, so expect to see a big drop 9 times down to 28 points. Day 3, the Irish Open Championships. See, hold that glide, same as breaststroke. Hold that glide off the dive, and then a few kicks, and then get up. Go quite tight in the middle here. So holding that rate nicely, head down, lovely. See how low her head is. Cora Rooney. She's taking 1 breath. Let's see if she takes another one. Yeah, there's a 2nd breath. I'd imagine she should only take 1 more. She might take another though. She looks strong. Yeah, no, she didn't need that breath, Cora. Down, not bad. 28.2. She could tidy that up a wee bit. Maybe time her breaths a bit different. Maybe take an extra stroke per breath or something like that, and she'll only have to take 3.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things she can tidy up there. You know, it's still strong swim from her, but I think, you know, taking maybe 1 less breath, but also timing that finish. I think she had like an extra little kick there kind of coming into the finish. But she was looking good. I like the fact that when she comes off the dive, Cora, she's very strong at kind of getting into that power straight away. It only takes her about 1 or 2 strokes to kind of get into her top speed, and then she maintains it throughout the entire 50. Some other swimmers, it might take maybe 3-4 strokes to get up to that top speed. Yeah. But she does have a good underwater, and she's quite strong at that first couple of breakouts. So that's
kind of the tough part, 50 fly, isn't it? You got to like settle into your stroke very quickly because it's only a 50, so you got to like get that right from the first, 2nd stroke.
Absolutely, and it's something that these girls really do need to work on. Like when say I was back in UCD, the amount of months that you would literally just spend on either breakout and just kind of that first 15, you know, just making sure that first 15 meters is as fast as you possibly can. So it's definitely something like an area that maybe some of these girls just need to work on just a little bit more.
Okay, on to heat number 6 now. We've got the Irish junior record holder, Jenna McDougald of UCD, the 21-year-old now, so she's looking nice. India, what do you make of her stroke?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jenna is a fantastic 50 flyer. I went out this time last year to kind of work on Jenna's butterfly with her coach Earl McCarthy out in UCD, and she's really improved over the past year. Now she's looking really, really strong. We actually went out to look to see if we could change her into a side breather, but she finished strong there in a 27.78, so faster than her entry time, so finally breaking that 28-second barrier. So really, really strong swim there from Jenna.
Yeah, obviously that Irish junior record sitting at a 27.07. She set that in 2019. I'm unsure of what her best is. I'm sure it's down by the 26s now, hopefully. She's currently our fastest qualifier before we have Hill coming up in the last race of the morning. And the final heat of the morning. And then that will conclude racing for this morning. I think there is a few time trials, but the stream will end after this. But we'll keep you updated in the evening. India, you're back tonight for commentary?
Not back tonight, unfortunately.
It's just Nick and
John tonight for the commentary. So
they'll keep you updated with those time trial results. Okay, final heat. Standing down.
Danielle Hill not ready yet for a 50 fly.
Ready yet. I don't know why they asked to stand down though. It doesn't make sense. You can take as long as you want when they blow the whistle to get up on the block. Literally, you can take another minute if you want. So I don't know why they stood them down there. Weird. Anyway, she'll go through the motions here. Watch her off the dive. Very powerful athlete. Good spring of the hips. But here we go. She's, as India mentioned, she's actually entered on the 26.62, which is directly the same, exactly the same as the Irish senior record held by Mona McSharry. But she's going to coast through here. Get through the motions. Yeah, it looks really powerful, doesn't she? She's getting a lot of distance per stroke there.
Yeah, she's looking very powerful. I don't think she needs to push herself too hard in this heat swim, but she's still looking strong. I think she's going to finish, 27.56. Nice swim there again from Alana Burns-Aiken as well, so 28.08. So just slightly faster than her entry time as well. So good swims for both swimmers there. Alana had a very strong short course season as well, so it's nice to see her transfer that over to the long course season too.
Absolutely. Hill down her fastest. Be really interesting tonight to see her in the 100 free and 50 fly double. See if she can do what McCusker did yesterday and win both of them. She probably could. She well could, couldn't she?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we know what Danielle Hill is like in the kind of evening sessions. You know, she comes back fighting.
She's a racer, isn't she?
She is a racer, and she wants to get her hand on the wall first. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of takes that double gold this evening.
Yeah, so there's lots of exciting racing to look forward to tonight. It'll be Nicholas Quinn and John Kenny tonight, taking you through the finals session. There'll be a lot of exciting swimming tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in, and come back tonight at 5 p.m. for the final session. Thanks, India.
Thanks, David.